Hello, hello. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another live stream. We have the Game Week 3 stream, and then we have an international break. And I hate this because we just get up and running. We start to get into a rhythm with the content and with FPL, and then it's over. Not over, but we don't have it for a couple of weeks. So there we go. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Let me know what you're doing right now, and welcome. And if this is the first time you've ever been at one of my streams, hello. I hope you're all okay, and I hope you enjoy the stream as well. I'm a little bit tired. I had quite a lot of sleep. Do you know what? Let's nerd out. Let's do this. I'm going to show you my sleep score on my Fitbit. Not that it probably means anything, but it was a good sleep. I slept for a grand total of 7 hours and 11 minutes. That's pretty good. Went to sleep at 11:30. Check me out before midnight. 81. If anyone has a Fitbit, let me know. Sounds like you're sick, bro. Oh, thanks. That's a nice start, isn't it? This is called a tired morning voice. I will sound a bit more awake soon. Had 8 hours, 20. All right, Lewis. No one wants to show off. Show off, Lewis. Ugh. Anyway, it's fine. I got... Look, I get... Sorry, this isn't an FPL stream anymore. This is a sleep stream. Look how much REM sleep. 25% of my sleep is REM. I don't get enough light sleep, weirdly. You sound tired. Do I sound okay?
You sound a bit tired.
Oh, now Pickle's abusing me as well. By the way, it's mine and Pickle's anniversary today. We've been together for a year.
Aww.
It's exciting, isn't it? And of course, I've got a stream on the anniversary. I mean, it's fitting, really, seeing as that's how we met. But there we go. Right, anyway, I'm talking about everything other than FPL. So let me actually... That's why you're here, right? This isn't Life of Ross. That'd be fun, though. We should do a channel. Right. let me show you my team. If you've not been keeping up to date with the content, etc., throughout the last week, on Sunday I sold Nkunku for Rodgers because I'm very keen to try and maintain decent team value at the start of the season, and also I was pretty sure that I wanted Rodgers. There was some temptation to go for like Semenyo, Gibbs White, who else? Smith Rowe, but I had Robinson and Menez already, and I'm not committing to a Game Week 6 wildcard. And I think considering I'm not committing to a Game Week 6 wildcard, having triple Fulham that start to tail off around then, along with Liverpool who are around Game Week 6 fixtures start to die off, then I've got 2 Palace. I feel like if I get Smith Rowe as well, it's just like, right, you are committing at that stage. So I wanted to leave my options open, and I just think Rodgers' fixtures, they're a little bit longer term. Like, I wouldn't mind keeping Rodgers until Game Week 9, and then even around here, if I can pick up an 8th attacker, then I could even bench him. Interestingly, what this leaves me with is 3.5 million in the bank. So what I plan on doing with that, I'll be entirely honest. We keep it real on this show. I've got no idea. I've not kept that for some sort of clever thing, but I do have so many I mean, this week, by the way, and I'm going to hope that you guys don't talk me into it, I could just do Jota to Palmer for a -4. Do you know what? Let's just do that at the start. I'm joking. Imagine just confirm that at the start of the stream. I could do Jota to Palmer. Right now, I could obviously just do nothing. Or the thing that I'm thinking is probably more sensible for my team is maybe to upgrade that cannon spot to João Pedro next week. Obviously not this week. There's no need to do it for me right now. What other things could I mean, there's loads of possibilities with this team. The other thing that I've toyed with, and people are going to either love or hate this, is next week, ISAK to Haaland. And then I can do Saka to Matoma, because Matoma's got 2 really nice fixtures against Ipswich and Nottingham Forest at home. That would still be for a -4 next week, because remember, I've used all of my free transfers at this stage. But I've got lots of possibilities with that money in the bank. I could even potentially upgrade Henderson to Raya as well, because Henderson is stinking it up. But yeah, there's lots of possibilities. I'm pretty happy with my team. I do acknowledge that if Haaland has another really good game, we can look strong again. I should probably rectify that and do something about it. Oh, Nana Raptor, happy anniversary to you both. Happy anniversary from my mum. Everyone's been very sweet. Oh, I love you all. Congrats to you both. Thank you very much, Frosty. Yeah, what a year, eh? But both in our personal lives, but also as a couple. We've had an amazing year, to be fair. This channel's grown crazy amounts in the last year. Started a podcast. Collabed with all sorts of people. It's been crazy. DK says, 1 free transfer, 1.5 in the bank. Saka, Salah, Son, Jota, Ahmad, ISAK, Menez. Okay, very nice. Would you do ISAK to Watkins? Favourite move. Or Son to Palmer? On Son captain, Newcastle defence look poop. In all honesty, I much prefer Son to Palmer than I do ISAK to Watkins. However, if you've currently got your armband on the Son, I would not sell a player that you think is one of your best captaincy options. Like, if you're sat there thinking, I think Son's going to have a field day, then definitely don't sell him. But if it was my team, I would do that. If I had one free transfer, I'd sell Son for Palmer. But I do also know what you're saying. Like, Newcastle were like 15th for expected goals conceded over the opening two. And it's not like they've played like Arsenal and City. So, yeah, I don't know. I think I would still do Son to Palmer. But I do understand the temptation to keep, even to captain Son as well. I did do a captaincy graphic, actually. Is it still here? It's not that one. It's that one. Yeah, I didn't even include Son on the graphic, which is crazy. I don't know why, but I just think Newcastle at home, I fancy them to do fairly well. I'd probably just favour Isak. Isak's also got a great record against Spurs, if you believe in that stuff. I don't necessarily in massive amounts, but I think all of those options, plus even, like I said, a Son, you could even go for like an Mbermo if you wanted to. They're all very decent shouts. Paul Clapperton said, good morning, Ross. Happy anniversary. Thank you very much. What to do with Cannon, who's transferred to Stoke? So I actually think Cannon going to Stoke's a good thing. It just price locks him. So if you're not aware, when a player moves out of the league, it locks them in at their price. I was never going to play Cannon anyway. Cannon wasn't getting any minutes regardless. So all this confirms to me is that he's not going to drop in price, which is nice. I've got Isak benched. I would categorically say that's a horrid decision, Frosty. That's not even my opinion. I think that is factually a bad move. No, I understand. Like, a lot of people are choosing between like Rodgers, Smith Rowe, Isak, Eze. You've got to bench good assets regardless. I would rather bench in my own team Rodgers, Eze, and Smith Rowe before I benched Isak. That is a pen taker you're benching. Thank you. Pickle has just said, Frosty, that is a pen taker you're benching. I don't like benching penalty takers. I'll just straight up say, if people are going to ask me who they should bench out of Eze and Rodgers or Eze, and I will always say start Eze. Because I'm an Eze fanboy, he got me 18 points in Game Week 38 last year. But also, minutes, penalties, and I don't think Chelsea are particularly good defensively. I mean, Wolves put two past them quite comfortably. Like, they don't strike me as a defence that are going to keep Palace out. So I would start Eze ahead of both of them. When it comes to like Rodgers versus Smith Rowe, because I think a lot of people are going to be going through that decision themselves, my gut instinct tells me to bench Rodgers and start Smith Rowe. But what Rodgers has is better minutes than Smith Rowe. Smith Rowe will come off probably again around 70, whereas Rodgers, you're getting 90. It's honestly 50-50. I know that's such an awful thing to say when you come to my streams for advice, but flip a coin. Rodgers versus Smith Rowe, they've both got a good fixture. They're both definitely going to start, you'd imagine, anyway. Minutes in favour of Rodgers. I just think outright goal threat, I slightly prefer Smith Rowe, because as I've said in my videos all week, I feel like Smith Rowe's got that slight killer instinct. Smith Rowe there are some midfielders that just know when to arrive in the box. I know you'll laugh at me here. McTominay is an example of that, of just, when you watch McTominay, you're like, how does he score as many goals as he does? But he just has that knack of when to arrive at the right point. Rodgers may well have that. I've just not watched enough of Rodgers, and we've not seen it over a long enough spell, whereas I know Smith Rowe's not had many minutes over recent seasons, but he's always shown that ability to score goals. So for me, I would have Smith Rowe ever so slightly ahead of Rodgers, but I obviously don't have that decision to make, so it's easy for me to say that. Drunk wildcarded because of 4 players going to drop in price. Okay, fair. Smith Rowe and Raya and Guardiola, or Eze and Mbermo and Sanchez, Flecken, rotation, and Konsa. Oh, wow. I think I prefer Smith Rowe, Raya, and Guardiola. Oh, no, I love Eze. Oh, that's so tough. I just think longer term, having an Arsenal defender and a City defender, considering this is your wildcard, remember, and you can't all of a sudden wildcard again before Game Week 20, I think you're going to want an Arsenal defender in there. So I think Raya being there is nice. And I think, listen, City will keep clean sheets. And as soon as Walker does come back, and I do think he will, into the starting 11, Gvardiol's going to be great. And Smith Rowe's really nice value. Yeah, I would go for Smith Rowe, Raya, and Gvardiol, but that's very close. Mo says, hi, Ross. I've already got Saka, Trent, and Jota in my team. Okay. What up to £6 million defender should I get? Robbo, Gabriel, Saliba, etc. Happy anniversary. Thank you very much. I honestly just think Robbo's the best 6 million defender at the moment. But if you were to ask me in 4 weeks, in Game Week 6, when Arsenal have Southampton and Leicester at home in consecutive weeks, I'd probably say Gabriel. So now I would go Robbo, and then I would have an eye on a potential Arsenal defender around Game Week 6. But yeah, Robertson for me is just a monster. He just looks so good in this slot system. I mean, it's only been 2 weeks. And I will say, the games have been against Ipswich and Brentford. So 2 weeks against two teams where you would expect them to dominate, one of them being at home. Maybe it doesn't tell the full story, but he looks very fit. He's getting on the ball a lot. I like the role that he's playing. I think I'd have Robertson. Do you think Raya is okay without rotation on wildcard? Yeah, I mean, the next 3 fixtures aren't ideal. I would be extremely tempted by Emi Martinez on a wildcard just because of the fixtures. And he'll make a lot of saves. Even if Villa don't keep clean sheets, they will make saves. So I think Emi Martinez for me is a really good shout. If not Emi Martinez, Flecken would be my favourite 4.5. And then, yeah, Raya is fine. As long as you accept that you could get 0 clean sheets in the next 3, because they are 3 good attacks. Brighton, Spurs and City all can score goals. So it's not great, but I equally don't think it's horrible. So yeah, I think for me, it'd be a toss-up between Fleck and Raya and Martinez on a wild card. Rather 2 Henderson pen saves or a Muniz Hattie. I'd rather a Muniz Hattie because everyone's got Henderson. Well, a lot of people have Henderson. I'm just thinking in terms of my mini leagues, not as many people have Muniz. So I'd rather a Muniz Hattie. Why not both, eh? Actually, no, I lied. Henderson penalty saves because Palmer. Yeah. I'm going to go for the 2. I don't know why we're talking about this hypothetical situation where my players actually score points, but yeah, there we go. Benjamin, decent replacement for Muniz. No. Oh, Munoz, I assume you mean. Yeah, because you said I don't expect a clean sheet. I was going to say, don't replace Muniz. Munoz.
Didn't they just sign a new...
Who?
LaCroix?
I think he's a centre-back.
Sorry, I didn't know.
No, I think, yeah, I won't pretend I've watched him. Yeah, I think that, is it LaCroix? The new, I think he's a replacement for Anderson. I need to do a bit of research on some of the new signings because obviously I don't watch much outside the Prem. So what was the question? Replacement for Munoz? I still think Robinson's absolutely fine. I think if it's from next week and beyond, Dunk looks like an okay shout. You could always go Power Esri Konsa. I don't think there are any 5 millions that I desperately want, in all honesty. Yeah, I don't think there are. So I would go, if you need a defender this week, Robinson or Powell/Konsa. You could even go for Nedeljkovic, by the way. I think Nedeljkovic will probably start the next few. In fact, I am extremely confident he starts this week because Diego Carlos is also injured, which means that Konsa can't really play at right back. They've literally only got Nedeljkovic. So, I mean, famous last words, but I think he'll start this week. And then beyond that, if he impresses, I don't think they signed a right back, did they? Because Gertruda went to Leipzig. So Nedeljkovic could even be a shout for 4 million. I don't mind it. Hi, Ross. Hope you're well and enjoying the season. Wildcarded as I didn't enjoy my team. Fair enough. Went ISAK Watkins up front and hope to pick up points. Yeah, I actually quite like that. I mean, I did build a couple of wildcard drafts. Let me have a look here. Here you go. I didn't have ISAK in any of them, but that's just because it was difficult to squeeze in ISAK and Watkins. I like João Pedro as well, so I would be tempted to have João Pedro as your third forward. But yeah, I think wildcard this week isn't an awful decision at all. But yeah, ISAK and Watkins could play off because most people will either have ISAK or they'll move ISAK to Watkins. Very few people will have both. So it's something that could do very nice. I like it. Zinchenko and ISAK to Trent and Eva Nilsson. Eva Nilsson is a cheeky shout that no one has spoken about. Yeah, I don't mind that. I mean, selling ISAK for an Eva Nilsson, don't love, but if it allows you to get Trent in, I actually don't mind that. Yeah, I don't know why I've been overlooking Eva Nilsson. I suppose I just don't know enough about him at the moment. So, Shazam with the big boy super chat says, can't stop long stays. I need to go out. Happy anniversary, mate. Just wanted to congratulate you on 2nd place for South London United. Superb job and excellent season. Well done, Ross. Roll on next season. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm already chatting to the guys over at One Future Football next week about season 4. So I'm so excited. And thank you for your support for everything, mate. You're an absolute superstar. One of the nicest people I've ever known. So thank you very much. The Dat97 says, hi, Raptor. Start 2 of Gordon, Savio, Rogers, Jota. Whew. Savio's been so good, hasn't he? But does he start? How do I know that? Jota, I would start. Oh, that's so tough. Believe it or not, I might start Gordon. It's at home. Oh, that is horrid. I'd start Gordon and Jota. Why are you benching 2 attackers, though? Does that mean you're playing a 4 at the back? I'd bench one of your defenders and start 3 of those. And I'd probably start Rogers as well, then, if you're going to do it. Gordon, Rogers, and Jota and bench one of your defenders. There we go. JM, happy anniversary, bud. Everyone's so sweet. Thank you. 2 out of Ahmad, Rogers, and Smith Rowe. Ahmad will probably start versus Liverpool, right? Benched him last week when he scored. Thanks. I mean, he probably will start. Will he start? I don't know, actually. I think it could be Xerxes, Rashford, and Garnacho. Although I said that last week and it wasn't. I would say... I would still bench Ahmad. I would start Rodgers and Smith Rowe myself. But I understand that. I just think also Liverpool have been really good defensively. Yeah, I would start Rodgers and Smith Rowe for me. I hit the wildcard by mistake whilst doing 2 free transfers. Oh no, that's painful. Make the most of it at least. Have a little tinker and try and build the best squad you can. It might work out for you. You never know. You never know. Hey, Ross, man, after your thoughts, please. Of course, that's why I'm here. Took a -4 this week to save the wildcard. Great. Binned Murphy and Solanke for Semenyo and Wissa. Love both of those. Yeah, really under the radar pick, Semenyo. Although I'm trying to tell people how good he's been over the opening too. Wissa, I actually spoke about to someone yesterday. One of my patrons was looking for a cheap forward. And I said, Wissa, Southampton at home this week. And then from game week 6 onwards, as long as he continues to start, yeah, I really like Wissa. So I'm going to take a drink.
It sounds dumb, but how do you reply to people on YouTube comments?
Yeah, I think
Do I have to just and then type the name out?
you can do. Or you can reply to people's super chats by clicking the reply button. But yeah, you can type their out and then it comes up as an option if you want to message someone that's in the chat.
But it's
Or
not coming up as an option.
yeah, it doesn't always on mobile. I don't know. It's very strange. Anyway, Rich, sorry. I forgot that was... yeah, really nice moves. I like it when people think for themselves. And those are 2 moves of like, yeah, you've thought for yourselves and you picked out 2 players here. Really nice. Saka, Madueke, Jota, Hudson-Odoi, Haaland, Isak, Meniz. I want to sub one of them so I can play Rodgers. If you think it's a good idea, who should I sub? I mean, the standout for me there, believe it or not, is probably Madueke, if you want to bench one of them. Just because I don't know how many minutes he'll get after playing 60-odd minutes in the Europa Conference League playoff. I guess you could give a shout for Hudson-Odoi, but Wolves have been so bad, I'd probably want to play Hudson-Odoi. Yeah, I'd probably say it's between Madueke and Rodgers if you want to bench one of them. Chris F says, hi, Ross. Matoma and Isak and KDB, or Palmer/Saka and João Pedro and KDB? Thanks, mate. I have Haaland. So it's Matoma and Isak, or Palmer/Saka and João Pedro. I would say probably Palmer and João Pedro at the moment would be my favourite combo there. Yeah. Robinson, Aina, and pick 2 from Eze, Smith Rowe, Rodgers. Eze and Smith Rowe at the moment, and I would probably start Robinson ahead of Ola, but that's a very tight one. I'd say that defensive choice is so tough. I just think Robinson's minutes are slightly more secure. Yeah, I would say Robinson and Eze and Smith Rowe. Start Madueke or Smith Rowe. Smith Rowe for me. Smith Rowe for me. Did Jota to Palmer, CPT Salah or Palmer? Oh, captain. Sorry, I was like, what does CPT mean? I would captain Palmer ahead. Oh, it's above me. Sorry. I did that for anyone wondering about captaincy. I'll run a captaincy poll now. Above that graphic at the top, I've said I would rank the captains as follows. Haaland, Palmer, Salah, Saka, Isak, Watkins. I mean, is it nice not owning the 2 best captaincy options this week, in my opinion? No. Am I bad at FPL? Yes. Start 2 out of Rodgers, Smith Rowe, or Meniz for the midfield and attack and choose one of Powell or Robinson for defence. Well, definitely Robinson ahead of Powell, 100%. Got much more attacking threat, and I don't think there's much difference in clean sheet potential there. I would start Meniz and Rodgers in your case and spread the risk slightly. Or just go all in and start all 3 of your Fulham assets. But I think if you're starting Smith Rowe, Meniz, and Robinson and benching Rodgers and Powell, if Villa win that game 3-0 and Fulham struggle slightly, that's an awful swing. So I would probably say in that very specific situation, Rodgers, Meniz, and Robinson. Saka captain instead of Mo, what are your thoughts? I said before that my issue with Saka is that Saka just isn't very explosive. He's very consistent, and I know he got a 12-pointer in game week 1, but he's the sort of player that you don't necessarily expect a massive haul from. I remember so many cases last year where he just kept getting like 6 points, 6 points, 6 points, and it was like, it's great. I love the consistency, but getting that level of points is like, you want more from your captain, and then it was at the same time that Palmer was going out there and getting like 15s, 20s, and that's kind of what you want from your captain. And I think we've seen from all of the other captains in more recent weeks that they've got that explosive ability that Saka doesn't necessarily carry. So I'm not saying that in a single week Saka can't do it. I just don't think it's as often as some of the other players. So that's why for me, Saka is down below Haaland, Palmer, Salah. I think those 3 have a more explosive nature about them. Emre says, good morning, mate. Good morning. I know you covered it, but please just bench one of Smith Rowe, Meniz, Jota, or Rodgers. Also, Man United at Istanbul away. I live right by the stadium and hold a season ticket. Come along, you'll be sorted. Thank you very much for the offer. God, I would love to do that. I mean, that would be an absolutely ridiculous atmosphere. That would be a crazy game. Wow, imagine being a season ticket holder and living right by the stadium. That is amazing. Bench one of Smith Rowe, Moniz, Jota, or Rogers. Again, just because you've got Moniz, and this isn't the best way to think about it, but I think about stuff psychologically as well as trying to get the most points. And I would kind of want to spread my risk slightly. So I think you either bench one of Moniz or Smith Rowe. And this isn't biased because I have Moniz. If you look at goal scoring odds, you'd rather have the forward. Moniz is more likely to get you a goal. I know he didn't last week, but probably more likely in any given week. Yeah, he had 7 shots in the box in game week 2. I would bench Smith Rowe there, but I don't like it. I would love to have Smith Rowe. So anytime I'm saying bench Smith Rowe, I don't feel good about it. But I honestly think Smith Rowe, Rogers, Moniz, Eze, like you could bench any of these guys. Just do what feels right for you. But yeah, in that situation, Emre, I would bench. I wouldn't bench Jota. So I'd bench Smith Rowe there. Bench one of Rogers, Eze, Smith Rowe, Moniz. This is just the same questions going over and over. I should get like a bench graphic going, shouldn't I? I would say still there. I think Smith Rowe is slightly better than Rogers, but because you've got Moniz, I'd be tempted to bench Smith Rowe to diversify a little bit. And don't come at me about diversification bias because I know I've spoken about it before, but it's a thing. On Wildcard, Eze and a 4 million defender for the bench or Gibbs, White and Davis. I'd go Eze and Nedeljkovic. Eze and Nedeljkovic for me there. Madueke, Wood, Powell or Rogers, who to start and in which order? Rogers, Wood, Madueke, Powell. Maybe I'd put Madueke ahead of Wood. Rogers, Madueke, Wood, Powell. I'm worried about Wood's minutes. I think he'll start again because Awoniyi got minutes midweek, so I don't think Awoniyi will start, but Wood has been naff. And he can still score goals, by the way. He did this last season, but every time I watch him, I'm like, how is he continuing to start for Forest? Even against Southampton, he did very, very little. It was Gibbs White that was running the show. So start 2 out of Smith Rowe, Eze, Gordon. Oof. Eze and Gordon. I'd start Eze and Gordon. I don't think you can bench Gordon for a home fixture. And I actually think Gordon was really impressive in the second half of game week 2. Hatik says, Raya, Trent, Consaporo, Greaves, Hall. Okay, give me a whole team. 1 transfer left with 0.5 in the bank. Do you suggest any changes? That's not a... Okay, the back line's fine. Trent, Consaporo, I'd be happy playing them. Midfield of Eze, Jota, Bruno, Smith Rowe. Front line of Havertz, Haaland, Isak. No, roll the transfer. Yeah, you don't need to make a transfer there. That's a really nice team. Yeah, roll it. And listen, 2 free transfers next week after the international break. Don't mind if you do. It's lovely. Start Smith Rowe or Rogers. Yeah, I would. In isolation, I would start Smith Rowe ahead of Rogers. But if you've already got a Robinson and you've already got a Moniz and you don't want to put all of your eggs in the Fulham basket, in that situation, you might want to go for a Rogers. But yeah, in isolation, I would prefer to start Smith Rowe ahead of Rogers just about. What do you think? Pickle? Smith Rowe or Rogers, what would your opinion be? Because you've got both of them. If you had to bench one, who would you bench?
That's hard. I'll probably say Smith Rowe.
You'd bench Smith Rowe? Okay, Pickle slightly disagrees with me, but she said it is very tough. And this is it. It's honestly, it feels like a coin flip. Do you know what you should do? I speak about this in my book. What you should do, this is a Vaseline, not a coin. But if you're really struggling with a 50-50 decision, what you should do is flip a coin. You could do a virtual coin, by the way, if you don't own a coin anymore. Go on like virtual coin toss online. And as it's flipping, you will have this feeling of what you want it to be. And when it lands on whatever it is, let's say it lands on heads and heads is Rogers. If as it lands on heads, you have that microsecond of, I'd rather not. And you feel that, like, I want to flip again. Well, then it probably means you want to start the Smith Rowe. So I'm not saying that a coin flip will help you make the right decision, but what a coin flip will do is it will allow you to make a decision that is in line with your own gut feeling and instinct, which will usually lead to less resentment of yourself and your decision you make.
Frosty mentioned I'm a Villa fan, which is true, but I was basing it more on minutes, honestly.
Yeah, minutes are much better for Rock. Well, yeah, Smith Rowe could play 90, but so far minutes have been much better.
I don't think he will. I have both of them. I'm very happy with both of them, but
yeah.
It's always playing 90.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Gordon to Rogers or roll my 3rd free transfer. Roll. Listen, you could be you would be joint first person ever in the history of FPL to have 3 free transfers. It's great. Is Wood for Moniz a good swap? Happy anniversary, Raptor. Thank you very much. Wood for Moniz. I don't even know which way you're going here. I'm assuming you're bringing in Moniz for Wood. I don't hate that, but I also don't love it. If you're bringing in Wood for Moniz, then I do hate it. I think just keep whoever you've got out of Wood and Moniz. I don't think there's a need to switch those around because they've both got a good fixture. They're both going to start and they'll probably both get an early sub. Neither, I don't think, are on penalties. So, yeah. Who would your wildcard keepers be? Yeah, we spoke about this. It would be one of Raya, Flecken, or Emi Martinez, and I wouldn't do rotating keepers. I think... I think if I was in a wildcard, I'd probably go Emi Martinez. I think. But Raya would be very tempting, and Flecken's obviously a great cheap option. One of the three, and I think you're fine. I transferred out Quansah for Pau Torres. Was it a good move? Yeah, I like that a lot. That's fine. And is Diaz not a good long-term pick due to the arrival of Chiesa? Chiesa can play on the left, right, or through the centre, and I don't think Chiesa's been signed to go straight into that starting 11. So I think Chiesa is backup for all of them. So yeah, I think the longer-term issue for Diaz is Gakpo. Gakpo is brilliant. We saw in the Euros how good Gakpo is off the left. He's also Dutch. Got that little Dutch contingency going with Arne Slot. So I like Diaz, but I think he has various competition. And then the thing is, if Darwin does start to be favoured as the 9, which I don't think is very likely, by the way, or Gakpo does, well, then Jota can play on the left. So yeah, there is competition, and I probably wouldn't bring in Diaz now. But if you own him, I'd be very surprised if he doesn't start again. With Cannon gone, who's a good cheap forward enabler? There are none. I can't think of any. Like Archer might get some good minutes at 5, but at 4.5, I would honestly just pick whoever you want that isn't highly owned, because the more highly owned they are, the more chance for price fall. So I would literally pick the lowest owned £4.5 million forward. Unless I'm wrong, I don't know that any 4.5 forwards get any minutes. And even if they do get like 5 minutes off the bench, why would you want a £4.5 million forward that's going to get you 5 minutes off the bench? I'd rather go all the way up to João Pedro at 5.6 million, I think. Bench one of Wood, Gibbs White, Smith Rowe, Rogers, or Jota. Oh, God, you guys have some awful benching headaches. This is why I'm happy that I've got Cannon. I don't have that same benching headache. Wood, Gibbs White, Smith Rowe, Rogers, Jota. I'd bench one of your Forest assets. I'd be inclined to say Wood there rather than Gibbs White. In your situation, I would bench Chris Wood, Blackfinch. Play Rogers or Wood, 3-5-2, 3-4-3. As much as I don't like Wood as an option, he's just got more goal threat than Rogers. And Wolves have been so bad. I honestly think I would play Wood ahead of Rogers. I do. Even though his minutes aren't as good, and even though Rogers has looked great, and even though the fixture is good for Rogers, I just think Wood at home against Wolves as the number 9 is probably a better option. Have Son and Wissa or ISAK and Mbeumo this week. Oh, wow. ISAK and Mbeumo. You've got 2 penalty takers rather than 1. Yeah, I'd go ISAK and Mbeumo. Bruno to KDB for free, or Bruno and Jota to Palmer and Matoma for a -4. Neither. I don't love either of those. I don't think Bruno to KDB makes too much sense. Bruno and Jota to Palmer and Matoma. I love that, but Matoma's playing Arsenal this week. So unless you've got another option you can play instead, is this the week to do it? I think Bruno and Jota to Palmer and Matoma next week is beautiful, but then you don't get Palmer this week. I prefer the second one, but I look at both of those and neither stand out to me as great options. Start Fabio Carvalho or Minte. Carvalho could be benched, but it's Southampton. I think you have to take the risk on Carvalho. I do think Carvalho will be benched, but just in case he starts, and you're probably not expecting much from Minte against Arsenal, are you? Yeah, I'd start Carvalho there, but yeah, not ideal. Hey, Raptor, congrats on the anniversary. Thank you very much. Who would you start between Porro, Greaves, and Anderson? Porro. Also, I have a free transfer, and I'm tempted to transfer out Bowen ahead of the City match. What are your thoughts? Who do West Ham have after City? Because it's not just a one-week thing, right? You want... Oh, what have I just broken there? Then I just kicked something and it broke. Hopefully not the stream, eh? Who do West Ham have? It's really bad. I know everyone's fixtures apart from West Ham's because I've just not really... Yeah, look at that. It's not nice, is it? City... Fulham away is not awful. I suppose Chelsea's not... They're not bad. Yeah, I would transfer Bowen out. Who for, though? Brian and Burma, if you want to target this week. I still think the likes of Smith Rowe and Rogers are fine, and you'd free up lots of money. Maybe that's what you do. Maybe you do go for like a Smith Rowe or Rogers and just give yourself the money to play with next week, potentially. Yeah, I would be tempted. But equally, could you see City conceding? Yes, because they seem to find a way to always do it. And Bowen's got a decent record against the big teams. Didn't Bowen score last year against Man City, I think? I might have made that up. Maybe it was the year before that. But yeah, I like it. Palmer captain over Haaland, worth the punt. Absolutely. I said in my Game Week preview video, no, I didn't, in my deadline, when was it? Yeah, my Game Week preview video, No, I don't know when it was. No, it was my deadline decisions video. God, the week blurs together. I said that this is the perfect week to back against Haaland because you don't want to back against Haaland when everyone's backing against Haaland, right? If there is a week where Haaland plays Arsenal and no one's captaining him, well, then you're not really backing against him. You're just doing what everyone else is doing. The week that you want to back against Haaland, for me, is when Haaland is the best captaincy option, which he is this week, but is not clearly the best captaincy option. Because if he's clearly the best captaincy option, just captain him. But in a week like this, yeah, if I had Haaland, I would give the armband to Haaland. But I don't look at it and think that he is a standout captaincy option. So definitely this is a good week to back against him. Captain, Watkins, Palmer or Salah? I mean, I've got it above. Look at the text. I would say Haaland, Palmer, Salah, Saka, ISAK, Watkins in that order. If you want to know where I'd put Son, it's around where Watkins is. So yeah, like 6th, 7th. Porro, Solanke and Barco on the bench. Should I sell Solanke or roll for 3 free transfers after the break? If sell, who for? I already have Muniz and Isak. Listen, if you've already got Porro first sub, you're clearly not struggling for depth in the squad. I'd roll. Yeah, I'd roll. It doesn't look like he's falling in price anytime soon. Apparently he's price locked. Yeah, so lots of questions on Solanke. My understanding of price changes, and I thought my understanding was extremely good, is that a player is only price locked when they go from... If they leave a league or they go from flagged to no flag, then they get price locked. He just went red flagged and then they price locked him. And I don't know why. Unless the other thing I think can price lock a player is if they change the color of the flag. So maybe he went yellow or orange and then red. I don't know. But Solanke's dropped like 20% ownership. So he is definitely price locked because otherwise he would have fallen like 3 or 4 times by now. It's really weird though. Watkins and Nedeljkovic or Havertz and Konsa? I'd honestly go Watkins and Nedeljkovic. Yeah, I think that's upside chasing. I think Watkins and Nedeljkovic has a much higher ceiling than Havertz and Konsa at the moment. But I would argue that Havertz and Konsa is like a safer pairing. So I would go Watkins and Nedeljkovic. Replace Saka with Palmer. Not for me, but if it's for free and you've got no other issues, then yeah, I don't hate it. Don't hate it at all. Yeah, I wish they made the price change stuff a little bit more transparent because they don't give you the exact formula. So we're trying to work it out based on that. But he's definitely price locked. Very strange. By the way, if you are enjoying the stream, there's over 3,000 of you already in at this early stage. Please do drop a like and make sure to subscribe as well. I do really appreciate it. Completely free for you to do. I live stream every week. There's at least 4 videos every week. Plenty of stuff to subscribe for. Hi, Ross. Can you rate my wildcard? Of course. Raya, Trent, Lewis, White, Powell, Fass, Saka, Rogers, Mbermo, Salah, Palmer, João Pedro, Watkins, Jefferson. So Jefferson has left the league. I'm sure you know that, but Jefferson's gone. So that's fine to keep, but he won't get you anything. What? Let me try and roast it for you. What don't I like? God, it's a cracking team. Do you know what? I love everything. Genuinely everything other than Lewis and Fass. I know a lot of people seem to like Rico Lewis. I'm just a little bit concerned about his minutes. So I would go for Dunk instead of Lewis. And then I would rather take a risk with Nedeljkovic or even like a Vandenberg and just hope he gets into the starting 11. I think there are better, higher upside picks than Fass. But we saw with Barco, a high upside 4 million defender isn't the best thing in the world sometimes. So listen, I would give your wildcard a 9.4 out of 10. It's very, very good. It's basically what I would be going for. Bench 2 of Jota, Rogers, Porro and Smith Rowe. I'd bench Porro and Rogers, but I need to see the rest of the team to really give you an opinion there. But yeah, Porro and Rogers there. Andreas asks, Bruno and Wood for Rogers and Watkins or roll to 3 free transfers? Oh my goodness, that is tough. I much prefer Rogers and Watkins, but that is both of your free transfers used before the international break. Also, Bruno's on pens. I'm like 55% in favour of rolling, but I really like the Rogers and Watkins move. So if your gut's telling you that Villa are going to really smash it against Leicester this week, then I would go for it. Hi, Ross. Would you do Hall to Konsa or roll? Other defenders are Johnson and Harwood Bellis. Feels like I'm lacking depth. Yeah, I would go for it then, Stephen. By the way, you've been a member for 35 months. Almost 3 years as a member of the channel. That is mental. Thank you so much, my man. Yeah, I would do Hall to Konsa. I agree that if your other defenders are Johnson and Harwood Bellis, you probably just want to shore up that defence a little bit. And Lewis Hall doesn't look like he's going to be starting regularly at least. Swap Nkunku and Eze to Madueke and Schmodix. No. Not in a million years. I don't mind Nkunku to Madueke or Schmodix if you wanted to, but I wouldn't be doing Eze out for that. And I still think there are better replacements than... In fact, I think I've got my list here, haven't I? Is this it? Yes. I came prepared for today's live stream, ladies and gentlemen. These are my favourite replacements for Nkunku, rated from 1 to 14 on my Raptor ranking. Eze, Rogers, Smith Rowe, and Burmo, Bailey, Gibbs White, Semenyo, Matoma, Minte, Soboslai, Brereton, Diaz. I think all of those are better than Madueke and Schmodix for me. But that's just my opinion. But yeah, those would be the ones I would be targeting. And I know everyone will mock me for my Eze love. He is my hero. He saved me last season when I brought him in GameWeek 38. I owe him. I owe him so much loyalty. Have Doku and 1.5 million in the bank. Very nice. Replace for a -4 or play Rogers. I'll just play Rogers. Is Maddison that bad? Maddison's not bad at all. Maddison's been exceptional. Yeah, I really don't mind that. Maddison has been brilliant in the opening 2 weeks. It's just how long can he keep that up without getting injured and without dropping a few stinkers? I love Maddison as a player, but he's not shown that consistency for a while now. I don't know that I would bring Maddison in ahead of Newcastle and Arsenal, though. I'd go Rogers. I'd just start Rogers. Luke Talks Football says, hi, mate. Hope you're good. I'm very well, thank you. Having to pick 2 players between Smith Rowe, Eze, and Wood. Any ideas who? Also, shall I keep Pickford for 1 more week? Yeah, I'd keep Pickford. Just see. Maybe Sean Dyche finds a solution. Oh, I'd start Eze and Wood and bench Smith Rowe. But I don't love that at all. I'm not a massive fan of that. But yeah, that's just a difficult decision. How is it, Eggman? I'm good, thank you, Super Duper. How are you? Fahad says, thoughts on rolling my free transfer and having 3, selling Jota, Ahmad, and Isak for Palmer and Rogers and Welbeck, or another attacker within the price range. I have Smith Rowe and Gibbs White. Yeah, that looks really nice. Yeah, roll the transfer, and then after the international break, attack it. You have to wait and see. You might get issues over the international break, but that's the benefit of having 3 free transfers. I really like those moves. Palmer, Rogers, Welbeck. I would even be tempted by João Pedro ahead of Welbeck, but yeah. Really nice. And Smith Rowe and Gibbs White are really nice options to have this week as well. Very nice team. Is Fass a decent bench defender? Fass is fine, but he's not going to score a goal at the time. And I just think I would rather go for Nedeljkovic at the moment. But this is the thing. Nedeljkovic is great now, but is he going to start every game for the remainder of the season? Obviously not. So, whereas Fass probably will. So will Harwood Bellis. I still think Greaves is an okay shout. He looks really dangerous from set pieces. I know people will say Ipswich are terrible, but they've just played City and Liverpool. Like, give them some credit. They weren't awful considering. So yeah, let's see. But I think there are lots of good 4 defenders. You don't really want to rely on a 4 million defender anyway. Yeah, let me run a captaincy poll, chat. Let me do that because I haven't still at this point. So, the issue I've got with captaincy is that I can only include 3 options. So in the chat, can you spam, who would you rather have as a captaincy option, Palmer or Saka? Because Salah and Haaland will be in there. So who would you rather have as a captaincy option, Palmer or Saka? And I'll just pick whoever's the most there. Palmer. Oh, dear Lord. Okay. Palmer it is. Emil Smith Rowe. No, it's not. If you're captaining Emil Smith Rowe, Frosty, I will say, right, so Haaland. Yes, definitely Palmer. Wow. Oh, God, that terrifies me. I don't even own him. I don't own Haaland and Palmer. What is wrong with my team? Salah, Man United. Palmer. I suppose he does have a home fixture, doesn't he? So does Saka, though. Again, if somehow someone from YouTube is watching, why do you only have 4 options? If someone from Twitter is watching, why do you only have 4 poll options? Give me 6. I understand from a user interface perspective that you don't want to give unlimited poll options because it would be ugly. But surely you can squeeze in a couple of extra options for my polls, you know? Elon, listen, Elon, I know you're a massive fan of the content. I know you're watching right now. Please give us more options. Right, start poll. Spin the wheel. I am not going to tempt fate with my computer because it's actually behaving itself. And the wheel does not do good things to my computer. What's that? I know I missed the wheel. Maybe I need to get my physical one that I've got at FPL Therapy because I've not even used it. Maybe I'll carry it here. Solanke and Sangare to João Pedro and Madueke. I don't love the I don't get the Madueke hype. Listen, if he scores a couple again this week, then I'll change my opinion. But Yeah, as of right now, I think there are better options than Madueke. I would rather JP and Rodgers, personally. I think Rodgers looks much better than Madueke. I know he hasn't scored 3 goals, but yeah, anyway, I think they're both fine moves. I've got Munoz, Gabriel, Robinson, Eze, Nkunku, Smith Rowe, Salah, Isak, Wood, and Haaland. While I have Quansah, Murphy, and Barco on the bench. Yeah, that bench stings. Sorry, I'm joking. Would you recommend changes in my back three in midfield? Munoz, Gabriel, Robinson. I don't love Munoz at the moment, but also Leicester at home next week. So if you can get through this week, it's okay. Eze, Nkunku, Smith Rowe, Salah, Isak. I mean, you could sell Murphy for Rodgers. That's the only recommendation I would say there, Benjamin. Other than that, it's okay. I mean, the defence isn't perfect with Munoz, but also Chelsea are very inconsistent. Could you see something for him attacking or defensively? Absolutely. Yeah, the only change I'd maybe recommend there is Murphy to Rodgers. Hi, Ross. Bench Porro, Kulusevski or Robinson? I mean, Kulu's going to start now, isn't he? So I wouldn't bench Kulu. Just about Porro. I mean, chat, what do you think? I could bench Porro. I could bench Robinson and start Porro. I did discuss this with Pickle yesterday. If I expect Robinson to concede, and I expect Porro to concede, and therefore, should I not just start the more attacking player, which is Porro? Although Robinson is very good for baseline bonus. I don't know. I think it's very close, but I would bench Porro.
I think I am going to, but there is a high chance I'll regret it.
Yeah. Would you do Armstrong to Watkins for a -4 and captain him? I don't mind the move, but not for a -4. Or just captain Haaland, West Ham fan. If you're a West Ham fan and you'd get more enjoyment captaining Watkins, do it. But I think Haaland is a significantly better captaincy option than Watkins. Like by some distance. Better data, better minutes at the moment, penalties, better player, better team. Just everything is better about Haaland other than the fixture. So yeah, I would prefer to captain Haaland, but take into account enjoyment. I don't care that I'm captaining Salah against Man United, because Man United stink anyway and they ruin my weekend every weekend anyway, right? It won't change much for me. In fact, it's actually a nice thing, because if Salah blanks, I'll at least hopefully get a win for Manchester United. But I don't make my FPL decisions around my team, which is why I've got triple Liverpool and captain against Man United at Old Trafford. Dear Lord. Robinson or Gvardiol, or start both to bench Rodgers? Robinson or Gvardiol, or start both to bench Rodgers? Definitely don't bench Rodgers. I would bench Robinson or Gvardiol. If I knew Walker was starting, I'd bench Robinson, but I don't. I think Rico... Would I bench Gvardiol? Wow. That feels awful. That is an awful decision. I would bench Gvardiol. Would I? No, I wouldn't. I'm thinking if I had Gvardiol now, I'd have Robinson on the bench. I'd bench Robinson. Yeah, that's my final answer. I'd bench Robinson, but I think that's very close. I do wonder if I'm just using... Like, if Gvardiol was 4.6 million... Would I it just feels wrong benching your £6 million defender with a fixture that isn't even that bad. At that stage, why do you own Gvardiol? Would be my question. Because if Gabriel had West Ham away, there's no chance I'd bench Gabriel. So that would be my only worry. Daniel says, happy anniversary, Ross. Thank you very much. Thoughts on this? Saka and Nkunku, Eze, Moniz out. Okay. Palmer captain, Smith Rowe, Rodgers, Havertz in. All will start. I mean, you're talking that as a minimum of -8, even if you have 2 free transfers at this stage. Yeah. Right? Yeah, 2 free transfers you could have is the maximum. That's still a -8. And you're removing Saka and Eze and Moniz. I don't want to put you off of a move, but I do not like that in the slightest. But I feel really bad saying that. So listen, if you really want to captain Palmer and you love all of the options you're bringing in, great. I don't see as that's a massive upgrade. I wonder, could you just do Nkunku to Smith Rowe or Rodgers, and then that's absolutely fine at that stage. Yeah, that would be my opinion on it. Dan says, good morning, Ross. Bench 2 of Robinson, Porro, Eze, Rodgers. Also, thoughts on Gvardiol to Rico Lewis as an option? Nah, I wouldn't do that. I would, if you can bench both Porro and Robinson and start Eze and Rodgers, I'd do that. But I'm assuming you've got to bench 1 defender, 1 midfielder. So I would bench Porro and Rodgers. That is awful, though. I mean, some of you, if you have a decent backup keeper, you might be looking at a bench boost, in all honesty. Do your transfers reset after Wildcard? They used to, but they don't now. So let me use this as an example. If you're wildcarding this week and you had 2 free transfers, going into game week 4, you will still have 2 free transfers. You do not accumulate a free transfer in the week that you wildcard. So let me give you another example. If you went into a wildcard week and you had 4 free transfers, you would not go into the next week with 5. You'd still have the 4 that you started with at the start of when you activated your wildcard. Does that make sense? So your transfers are basically the same number as when you activated the wildcard. There's a simple explanation, hopefully, I think. Ahmed says, hi, Oscar. Wrong person, but thank you. Sell Solanke and get Maniz, or play Rashford and save the transfer. I'd sell Solanke for Watkins if you can afford it. But maybe go and ask Oscar that question. Eze or Gordon and Gvardiol or Robinson? I'd start Eze ahead of Gordon and I would start Gvardiol ahead of Robinson. God, some of you are going to have so many bench points. I mean, I might myself with Pedro Porro, but there are some stacked benches this week. It's awful, isn't it? Who to bench? Gordon, Eze, Rogers, Smith, Rowe, Jota. Dear Lord. Rogers. Yeah, I'd rather start Gordon, Eze, Smith, Rowe, and Jota. I'd bench Rogers. I know I brought Rogers in this week, and I know I'm starting him, but do bear in mind I've got Cannon on the bench, so I've got no choice. And also, I said when I brought him in, I'm acknowledging he's a 5.1 million asset that has yet to get an attacking return, and his underlying data hasn't been perfect. We've not seen him consistently get returns in the Premier League before. It's a risk. We don't know yet if he's a good FPL option. He's a good player, but is he a good FPL option? That quote from Emery this morning, though, that I saw, he was basically just saying that Rodgers is like perfect and he loves him. So his minutes will be very good. Jota to Palmer -4 is a good move for the good run. Yeah, I'm tempted. I am tempted for sure. Start one of Porro, Konsa, Ahmad. Porro. Hi Ross, would you start Mikalenko or Porro this week? Porro. Good morning, my neighbour. If this is my literal neighbour, I found out, I don't know if it is. If so, hello. My neighbour next, you could probably hear me through the wall. My neighbour literally next door to me watches the content. So if that is you, thank you and good morning. Hope you're having a good morning in Nottingham. Oh, too funny. I just received a message saying, I know this is a really weird message, but I've seen you leave your room and I live next to you. And I'm like, oh, nice. Please help me out, Ross. I've wildcarded away from Haaland. My team is Emi Martinez, Davis, Davis, Aina, Trent, Salah, Saka, Cole Palmer, HMS. Who's HMS?
Did they mean
HMS? Who's HMS? I'm looking at my team. Yeah, high musical school. Rogers, Watkins, JP. Am I dumb? Well, apart from me not knowing who HMS is, I like it.
Oh.
Who is it?
Son.
Oh, Heung-min Son. I'm such an idiot. Sorry, I've never seen him called HMS for some reason. Okay, let me now go back through. Martinez, Davis, Aina, Trent, Salah, Saka, Cole, Palmer, Smith Rowe. Sorry, not Smith Rowe. Heung-min Son, Rogers, Watkins, JP. How have you afforded that? That's a good sign. I've just thought, how have you afforded that team? Oh, you've got no Arsenal defence. You're not dumb. I love the wild card. I don't mind that you dropped Haaland, but I don't love that there's no Arsenal defence. I would want an Arsenal defender. Whether that be something like one of your defenders to Nedeljkovic to cover Aston Villa and then Martinez to Raya, that could work. I'd want an Arsenal defender, but it's a really nice wild card. Darcy says Son to Palmer for a -4 and captain. For a -4. If you're going to captain him, maybe, but I would want to keep Son. I wouldn't want to do it for a hit. If it was for free, I don't mind it, but do you see a world where either Forest, Ipswich keep a clean sheet? Same defence as you, but Aina instead of Robinson, one defence. In terms of clean sheet, I think Forest have a much greater chance for a clean sheet. So yeah, you could definitely start Aina, but I think Robinson is more attacking. So it's like greater clean sheet or greater attacking odds. What do you want? You don't even have... Wait, you don't have Robinson. Same defence as you, but Aina instead of Robinson. Oh, yeah, just play Aina then. Absolutely. Yeah, you're fine. Just play Aina. I've got Saliba, Robinson, Trent, Aina, Saka, Smith Rowe, Rogers, Jota, Haaland, Isak. Need to replace Solanke and Nkunku, which gives me 13.8 in the bank. Oh, God, you shouldn't ask me to do quick maths like that. So which midfielders do you have? You have Smith Rowe and Rogers already. Oh, that's a tough one. So you're going to want... I'd probably go João Pedro as the attacker, even though... Or Wissa, or even Ilson. God, there's so many options. I'd probably go João Pedro for the attacker, which leaves you, quick maths, 8.3 in the bank. And Burmo. Gibbs White. I think. Someone like that. You could even go for a Bailey if you want to double up. I suppose you could go for a Watkins and a Winks, but then I can't. Yeah, you'd have to start them, wouldn't you? I don't know. Too much to ask of me in the middle of the stream. Sorry. I would probably start with which cheap forwards you want, and then see who you can afford in the midfield. Kovacic to who with 2.5 in the bank, or save the transfer? I don't love having Kovacic. I know he scored the other day, but I don't even know how much Kovacic is. How much does Kovacic cost? He's probably like 5 mil, is he? 5? 5.5. Wow, that is expensive. If I had Kovacic, it would be Smith Rowe or Rodgers I'd move to. I still think Smith Rowe and Rodgers are the two standout cheap options. If you don't have Eze, I still love Eze. And Burmo's an okay shout, always is. But just bear in mind that the two fixtures after Southampton aren't great. I am so tempted to do Jota to Palmer. I know it's an awful decision, though, for a hit, I think. I'd probably give him the armband as well. If it was for free, I'd be very tempted. Hi, mate. Hope you're well. Raya and Robertson, or Flecken and Trent. Wow. Also, downgrade Saliba to Porro to bring in Tielemans for Souček. What are your thoughts on Luka Dean? Okay, let me start with the first one. Raya and Robertson or Flecken and Trent? I'd say Raya and Robertson now. Oh, I love Trent, though. I still think Robbo's been very good. So I would go Raya and Robertson. Downgrade Saliba to Porro to bring in Tielemans for Souček. No. Don't like Tielemans, really. Listen, he could do well, but can't you just have Rodgers instead for Souček, or do you still need the funds to do that? I think Souček's okay, by the way. He's got City this week, I know, but he's just getting on the end of everything. Thoughts on Luka Dean? Don't like Luka Dean because Maatsen will eventually start ahead of him. I don't think it will be this week, but I think it will be very soon that Maatsen starts. My midfield and forward options need to bench 2 of Salah, Palmer, Jota, Smith Rowe, Rodgers, Havertz, ISAK, Meniz. Need to bench 2 of those. Oh, my Lord. Oh, my goodness. Smith Rowe and... I don't know. Smith Rowe and Rodgers. That's bench boost territory at that stage. Wow. You've got... Oh, that is 8 brilliant attackers. I mean, so you can't bench Salah, you can't bench Palmer, you can't bench Havertz. I would never bench ISAK. And I wouldn't want to bench Jota, which leaves Smith Rowe, Rodgers and Meniz. And it feels crazy to bench both Fulham assets. So I think bench one Fulham asset and Rodgers. You guys honestly have some terrible benching headaches. Choose 2 of Smith Rowe, Wood and Rodgers, please. Just for this week, Wood and Smith Rowe. If you're talking like transfers and owning, Smith Rowe and Rodgers. I just think Wood against Wolves at home, considering he should start, given a 1 you got good minutes in midweek. I think Wood's fine for this week. MN Chuckster says, hi, I need a second opinion this week because I'm basically 50-50. Okay. Would you sell Solanke and Nkunku to either Havertz, Smith Rowe, or in Burmo, João Pedro? As always, good luck and enjoy the weekend. Thank you very much. Havertz, Smith Rowe, or in Burmo, João Pedro? It's difficult, right? Because this week, overall, Smith Rowe and Havertz is better. But next week, João Pedro's got a great fixture. I think in Burmo and João Pedro, because you get 2 penalty takers, and in Havertz and Smith Rowe, you get 0 penalty takers. So if I think it's close and you can get 2 extra pen takers, I would go for Burmo and João Pedro. But I think that's a very close one again. Sophie Lewis says, hi Ross, would you use the last free transfer to do Solanke to Watkins? Would be ISAK, Wood and Watkins to bench one of them. Defensive midfield sorted with Palmer next week. So you're basically signing Watkins to bench Wood. I mean, I prefer Watkins to Wood, but I think I would keep the free transfer and start Wood. Yeah, I think I would keep a hold of Wood personally. I think I would hold Wood. That is a terrible statement, isn't it? Anyway, moving on swiftly. Gvardiol/Robinson, what's the chances of a City clean sheet? I think I just about favour Gvardiol. I had this debate a second ago, but yeah, I think I would just about favour Gvardiol. It's only game week 3. Oh, sorry, it's 4 game week 3 only. It's 4 game week 3 only. ISAK or Watkins stupidly played the free hit. Okay, yeah, not the best week, but you could get points from it. Watkins seems better, but I've got a feeling ISAK about first Spurs. So I would say playing the free hit and having ISAK is like, why did you play the free hit? 'Cause you probably owned him anyway. I know that's not the best way to think about it. I do agree that I think it's actually close between ISAK and Watkins. I would actually rather have ISAK this week, believe it or not, because of the home fixture. So yes, I think in isolation ISAK, but if you want to try and optimize the free hit in terms of gaining on those around you, I doubt many of them have Watkins. So it's probably a slightly better shout there. Eze, Rogers, or Wissa, I can only keep 2. Eze and Rogers. Oh, I love Wissa's fixture. When you say you can only keep 2, Ryan, I don't know what that means. Like, you have to sell one of them. If you have to sell one, I'd sell Wissa. If you have to bench one, I'd be tempted to bench Rogers and start Wissa. Wissa's got Southampton at home. It's a great fixture. Robertson and Eze and Trent, Robertson and Eze or Trent and Smith Rowe or Rogers, wildcard. Oh, that's a tough one. Oh, that's a really tough one. I'd be tempted by Robertson and Eze, you know. I think Robertson's going to get some attacking returns soon. I know Trent will as well, but yeah, I feel like price point wise, I kind of like Robertson and Eze there, but it's very close. Sam's given me his team. Said, what are your thoughts on my wildcard? So Raya in there, Trent, Lewis, Fass, Harwood, Bellis, Rogers, Jota, Saka, Palmer, Smith Rowe, Harlan, Manish, João Pedro. I like it. I would be a little bit worried about that defence though. Unless you've missed off a player. I think you probably have missed off a player. You've only given me 4 defenders there, but Lewis, Trent, Fass, and Harwood, Bellis. Depending upon who that 5th defender is, I would just want to make the defence slightly stronger. So yeah, that would be my only concern, but it's a very nice wildcard, Sam. ISAK to Watkins for free or roll? ISAK to Watkins for free or roll? Roll for me. Lewis, Gvardiol, Robinson, Trent, Porro, bench 2. I would bench. I would bench Gvardiol and Porro. Oh my lord, would I? Well, you can't bench Trent. No, I would bench Robinson and Porro. Would I start double City defence? You know what I would? I would, because not many people have a City defender. So if you get that, you got double clean sheet. I would go for it. I'd go all in. Lewis, Gvardiol, Trent. And I'd bench Robinson and Porro. Wow, like I said, some terrible benching decisions. Porro, Conser, Trent, Rogers, bench 1. Porro? I think. Oh dear. Porro? I don't want to bench Porro. I really don't.
Then don't.
I know, but then if I had Robinson on the bench, I'd say I don't want to bench Robinson. So it's tough. Do you know what I mean, though? Do you feel the same or not really?
No, not at all.
Okay.
I've got a gut feeling and I'm sticking to it.
Okay. Not talking about Semenyo from an Everton fan. I've spoken about Semenyo so much this week. If you've not watched the content, obviously you wouldn't know. But I mean, I'll chuck it back to this. Semenyo has the highest non-penalty expected goal involvement of all players and the joint most shots over the opening 2 weeks. Yeah, Semenyo's a great option. It's just, I think the next 3 in combination aren't as good as some of the other players. But yeah, I like Semenyo a lot. Bench 2 of Kukurea or Lewis, Kudus or Rogers. Bench 2 of them. Kudus and... Probably Kudus and Kukurea. I'd start Lewis and Rogers. Daniel Meek says, on wildcard, which 2 would you have out of Madueke, Eze and Mbermo? Eze and Mbermo. I absolutely wouldn't have Madueke on a wildcard. People seem to think I'm disrespecting Madueke. He didn't even feature in Game Week 1. He scored a hat-trick in Game Week 2 off of 0.6 XG, and only because, number 1, Palmer is so bloody good, but number 2, Wolves decided they didn't want to defend. Wolves was like, we think it's pretty funny to concede 6 goals. I would go as far as saying that is one of the worst defensive performances I've ever seen from a Premier League team. That 15 minutes. I don't... Like, if you're a Wolves fan, what on earth was that? Like, they just conceded the same goal 3 times in 14 minutes. It was madness. So, Madueke is a fantastic footballer. And when he starts, I think his returns will be there. But how many minutes is he going to get? Is he going to start every game? And really, do you prefer him over a Smith Rowe or Rogers? Not for me.
He played 2/3 of the midweek game as well.
Yeah, I know. He got 63 minutes midweek. So, Dunk or Rico Lewis? Well, this week, Rico Lewis, longer term, Dunk. But definitely this week, I'd prefer Lewis. Hi, mate. Thanks for all of the content. Love it. Thank you very much. I have Havertz, Maniz starting and ISAK on the bench. No, I don't like that. Should I bench Maniz or Jota? I own Salah. I hate benching ISAK. He's at home. Still the same option we chose 3 weeks ago when we said he was essential. And he's on penalties. I would rather start ISAK ahead of both Havertz and Maniz. But yeah, I think probably if I had to bench one of those, it would be Maniz, sadly. Zane says, Haaland, Jota, or Salah Havertz on wildcard 3. Oh, that's hard. On Wildcard 3, I'd want Salah. I really would. So I'll say Salah and Havertz, but that isn't because I don't like Haaland. I'd probably try and squeeze both in all honesty. Yeah, I'd probably want to have both. And there are enough cheap options. You've got Rodgers, you've got Smith Rowe, you've got João Pedro, you've got Nedeljkovic. There are enough options for you to have Haaland and Salah together in a team. Oh no, Sharky's just messaged, you guys won't believe what I've just done. He's probably accidentally hit the free hit or something. Bench 1 of Erdegaard, Jota, Palmer, Eze, Bailey, Jackson, Saka, and Muniz. Bench 1 of them. See, my gut instinct there when I looked at that was Jackson. But he's actually been okay for Chelsea. Maybe Erdegaard. Erdegaard's not done anything to date. Brighton's not a great fixture, but it is at home. I'd say for me it'd be between Jackson and Erdegaard there. If you have to bench one. We have got an hour till the deadline. We've been streaming for about an hour, so yeah. Will we see you again if Salah blanks, United get thrashed, and Haaland bags that? Oh, camera. Will we see you again if Salah blanks, United get thrashed, and Haaland backs a Hattie? I'm not going to lie. If United get thrashed and Salah blanks, that's just a... How has that happened? And then if Haaland scores another hat-trick... Yeah, I think that would be the end of my channel. But it has been a really nice run, and I've really enjoyed the times we've had together. I'm not going to lie. If Haaland scores more than 2 this week and Salah doesn't get close to matching that, I'm in a world of pain. Yeah. Yeah, I know my cam's gone. I'm just resetting it. I'm hoping a little one cheeky reset will work. Oh, it has. It's behaving a little bit more. A little bit. It has been nice. Bring Mbeumo and Semenyo plus 0.5 for a -4, selling Doku and Kulusevski. I mean, overall, I do prefer Mbeumo and Semenyo. Just beware, though. Next week in Game Week 5, Game Week 4 and 5, Mbeumo and Semenyo have pretty horrid fixtures. Well, they're not horrid for Semenyo, but they're not great. You're going to look at Mbeumo and Semenyo in your team next week and think, yeah, it was nice having them in Game Week 3, but now they've got tough fixtures. I think Semenyo's got... I think it's like Chelsea and United or something like that. And then Mbeumo's got Spurs and City. So they're not great. So I don't know that I'd be wanting to make both those moves. Ross, should I bench Aina and Robinson or... Sorry, should I bench Aina or Robinson and have Wood up front and no Smith Rowe so Fulham cover? I get what you're saying. I do think having a defender and attacker are slightly different things. Should I bench Aina or Robinson? Oh, I said I'd bench Aina earlier, but the more I think about it, that clean sheet potential is so much higher for Aina. Ola Aina against Robinson. I would probably... Do you know what? I would be very tempted to start Ola Aina, you know, the more I think about it. That Wolves at home fixture is really good for a clean sheet perspective. Robinson, I don't think, keeps a clean sheet. The thing is, Robinson is more attacking than Aina, and he's really good for baseline bonus. So if he gets anything, he's... Like, I don't think Robinson will often come away with a 6-point clean sheet. I think if he gets a clean sheet, it's going to be really good for bonus. And I think often he'll get an attacking return, which will also be good for bonus. Like last week, he conceded, and we spoke back, when defenders concede, it's worse for bonus points now. And Fulham scored 2 goals, but Robinson still got 2 bonus points. Like, that's crazy. I've got both Garnacho and Ahmad. Not sure who to start. Who would you start? Garnacho. He's just a better FPL option than Ahmad. And I don't know that Garnacho starts, by the way. It could be that Ahmad starts instead. But I think still Garnacho. Missed a chance to sell Nkunku to Eze. Should I roll? Why have you missed the chance? Oh, because Nkunku double dropped. Yeah, well, you're going to have to then, unless you go for someone else. It's really tough. Yeah, I forgot. I was like, yeah, but Eze drops as well. Yeah, and Kunku's down to 6.3 now. Armstrong to Watkins for a -4. And captain him. Or just captain Haaland. Oh, I've read that one, haven't I? Why'd you send it again, Linus? I've already answered your question. I would captain Haaland. But again, if your enjoyment is higher by captaining Watkins rather than Haaland, then do that. Happy Saturday, Ross. 3 options with 1 free transfer. Roll, play Robinson and Henderson. Okay. 2, Henderson to Martinez. Okay. 3, Munoz to Robertson and bench Robinson. Roll is my favour there. Out after roll, it's 3, and then it's 2. So, yeah. So I would go 1, 3, 2 in that order. Jota and Haaland or Salah and Watkins? Good Lord. I just look at that and I think Salah and Watkins for me, slightly. But I don't think that one's an easy one at all. That one's very, very close. I missed out on Oasis tickets. I'm very sorry to hear that. Did anyone else manage to get Oasis tickets? No disrespect to Oasis. It's not something that I'd be desperate to go to. Although I do love live music, but yeah, not a huge Oasis fan. But let me know if you got any tickets. Anyway, do I captain Saka or Palmer? Palmer for me. Yeah, Palmer. FPL the Mac has been a member for 31 months. What a legend. Good morning, Ross. I hit the wildcard button. What £4.5 million goalkeeper would you go for? And would you downgrade Guardiola to a 5.5 or 5 to upgrade the keeper? If so, who? It would be Flecken. And if you do want a 5... I do wonder if something like... What about Gvardiol to Konsa or Pau Torres and your 4.5 to Raya? Maybe that's better overall. A Raya and a Villa defender versus Flecken and Gvardiol. I don't think there's a lot in it, but yeah, for me, keeper-wise, it would be one of Martinez, Raya or Flecken. Sorry for the HMS thing. That's okay. I don't know why my brain couldn't remember who HMS would be. Raya in with Spurs and City. This doesn't feel like a great time to go out and buy Raya. But if you really want a goalkeeper that you just know you can keep for ages and or you're on a wild card, then Raya still is okay. And he still has a chance for clean sheets in the next 2 or 3 games, for sure. Any chance Flecken has a cold so that Valdemarson starts? There's always a chance. So you could start Valdemarson and bench Henderson in the hope that Valdemarson starts. But if you don't remember, last year, who was it? There was a goalkeeper, I think it was like Turner, who didn't play. People started him just in case, and he got booked on the bench. And because he got booked on the bench, it classes him as getting points, and therefore you wouldn't get your automatic keeper being subbed in. That was a very niche and rare situation. But all you need is something to happen in the Brentford game. Valdemarson to get booked on the bench, and then Henderson wouldn't sub in, and you never know what Henderson could save a penalty. So I don't think the risk is worth it. Valdemarson's not going to start, I don't think, unless you like we say, unless Flecken is randomly out, but I don't think so. Hello, mate. I'm finally a gold member. Thank you very much, DJ Hammer. You're such a legend. Need your opinion on this terrible benching dilemma. Bailey, Gordon, Gibbs-White, Moniz. Dear Lord, that is rough. I mean, straight up, wouldn't bench Bailey. Wouldn't bench Gibbs-White on penalties, great fixture. So it's Gordon or Moniz. I honestly would bench Moniz and start Gordon because it's a home fixture. But yeah, I can narrow it down for you. I'd start Gibbs-White and Bailey. Hopefully that helps. Start Moniz or Smith-Rowe. I'd prefer Moniz just about. Start Konate or Konsa. Definitely Ezri Konsa for sure. Is it too early to go for a Watkins captain? I don't know what you mean early. It's fine. My issue with Watkins, right? If I go through the options for captaincy, Haaland, Palmer, Salah, Saka, ISAK, Watkins, Son, 6 of the 7 are on penalties. The only one that's not on penalties is Watkins. That immediately is a major disadvantage. Also, Watkins' minutes has been really poor in the opening too. He played 61 minutes and 64 minutes. Ward-Prowse whipping crosses onto Wood's head. Can't wait. Yeah, Ward-Prowse, if he starts, his delivery is going to be huge for Nottingham Forest for sure. We might start to see a lot more set-piece goals for them. In fact, you would expect so anyway, wouldn't you? By the way, if you are enjoying the stream, please make sure to drop a like, but more importantly, please do subscribe as well. I would really appreciate it if you just head down whilst you're listening to this. Even on your telly as well. You can subscribe on your telly. You click on the channel and then click subscribe. So wherever you're watching me. By the way, that's a great question. For the 5,000, 6,000 people watching right now, where are you currently watching me? Is it on your TV? Is it on your laptop? Or is it on your phone? Or is it on some sort of other device? I'm always interested where and how people are watching my content. Yeah, let me know. That was really weird. My viewers just went from like 4,800 to 7,000 and then dropped back down. I think YouTube just glitched. I was like, that is way too many people to be watching. Laptop, TV, fridge, PC, laptop. Oh, wow. I thought so many more people watched me on their phone. Maybe we'll have to run a poll a bit later. I won't do it in the middle of the stream, but maybe after sorry, I won't do it before the deadline, but after the deadline, maybe I'll run a poll. There are still a few phone people, but most people seem to say laptop or PC. Interesting. Frosty said your window. Frosty, you better not be watching through my window. I'll tell you that right now. Foden and Nkunku to Palmer and Smith Rowe / KDB and Bailey. I'm so confused by that message, Nathan. Foden and Nkunku to Palmer and Smith Rowe / KDB and Bailey. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. Foden and Nkunku to Palmer and Smith Rowe. Big thumbs up from me. That would be the one I'd go for. Yeah. For sure. Start Rodgers or Smith Rowe, you think it's tight? I would just about start Smith Rowe, but yes, I agree that it is basically a 50-50 decision. Like genuine 50-50. Bathroom TV. That's a bit cheeky. In the cinema. Yes, get me in the cinema. Get me in. Welcome back. Good to see you. Start Rodgers or Wood? I'd start Wood. No one clip this, but I do like Wood. Oh, it's just endless Wood jokes, isn't there? I mean, I would hold Wood. I like Wood. I'm expecting good things from Wood. There we go. Start Eze or Rodgers? I would start Eze. Thoughts on Elanga? Yeah, it could be okay. Not really done much thus far, but could be okay. Where is the heart rate monitor? Yeah, I know. I'll tell you what. Chat, if you wanted proof that I am pretty chilled whilst I'm streaming, where is it? You can see my live heart rate here. Can you see that? 69. Hey. 68. 69. My heart rate's below 70 whilst I'm streaming to almost 5,000 people. That's pretty impressive. I'll tell you what, my heart rate was not 70 the first time I did a live stream. I was so nervous. I was panicking. Where are you from? I'm living in Nottingham right now, but I'm from Essex. Essex. I'm from Essex. I don't have a very Essexy accent, I don't think. But there we go. Eze, Bailey or Meniz, who should I bench? I would bench Meniz. How is Colwill? I don't know. So how is Colwill? Sorry, I haven't seen any updates on him, negative, positive. But if you wanted to know as an option, yeah, I have no issue bringing Colwill in. Colwill is he feels like a 6-point merchant at best, 2s and 6s. And considering Chelsea don't have the best defence, I'm not a massive fan of it. But yeah, you could definitely do worse for sure. You've got just over 45 minutes till the deadline, by the way. So do think about getting your teams locked in soon. Love the way you play FPL without putting out a template team like the rest of the YouTubers. It's still not... I wouldn't say it's too differential, but yeah, it's definitely different, isn't it, for sure. Is Barco dropping in price or is he locked at 4 mil? He's definitely locked at 4 mil. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he's gone. We wouldn't actually. We never know with FPL. I can't say definitely, but I'm 99.9% sure he's locked at 4 mil. Martinez and Eze, 0 in the bank. No Arsenal defence. Raya and Smith Rowe, 0.8 in the bank. Yeah, maybe if you've not got... Yeah, I'd go Raya and Smith Rowe then. Raya and Smith Rowe. Does this team need a wild card or can it wait? Pickford, Trent, Gvardiol, Greaves, Palmer, Saka, Son, Jota, Madueke, Isak, Meniz, Virginia, Quansah, Hall, Fraser. That can definitely wait, Dave. The only thing I would be tempted by is, can you find a way to transfer out Quansah or Hall? Like, if you did Hall to Quansah with a K or Pau Torres, then all of a sudden that team looks much stronger. If you had the money, would you take Ben White over Saliba? Yeah, probably, actually. Yeah, I would. If you really don't have anywhere else you want to spend it. Leif Davis or Rico Lewis? Probably Leif Davis, actually. I really like the fixtures coming up for Ipswich. And Leif Davis, by the way, gets so involved in the attack. I think he still had the most final third touches out of all Ipswich players. I'm camping in the woods, watching on my mobile. Love it. Respect. Listening on my phone at work. Not at work. I mean, unless you're allowed to, in which case I respect it. I was going to say sorry that you have to work on a Saturday, and then I thought technically I am working. What a job, by the way, that this is work. But technically I am working on a Saturday as well. I have to work every Saturday. Isn't that a funny thought? Good morning, Ross. Play Welbeck or Conser? Welbeck for sure. For sure. For sure? Not for sure, actually. I just think if Conser had more attacking threat, I'd be more tempted there, but he doesn't, so. Oh, my shoulder. Ow. My shoulder did what your shoulders do.
Yeah, my shoulders.
You got crumbly shoulders. Any changes for my wildcard team? Recommended bench. Raya, Valdemarson, Trent Guardiola, Robinson, Porro, Fass, Smith Rowe, Rogers, Palmer, Salah, Jota, Moniz, Jackson, Watkins. Any recommended changes? Not really, actually. No, that's quite a nice team. Recommended bench, then. I would say probably Rogers, Fass, and Porro. Rogers, Fass, and Porro would be the recommended bench, I think, Evan. But I mean, I would give it more thought yourself, but just from a glance. Captain Saka over Erling. I have the script. Erling will blank. I can't begin to tell you the joy that I would feel if Haaland blanked. I can't begin to tell you the joy that would enter my body if Haaland blanked. It would be beautiful, but it's probably not happening. I do much prefer Haaland captaining over Saka, personally. Robin has become a Rap Tier 2 member. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thoughts on captaining Havertz over Salah? Liverpool are away. Yes, but Salah has penalties. Salah has better data. And I also think Manchester United are probably a weaker defence than Brighton. But yeah, Havertz could be a decent captain. I'd probably prefer to captain Saka if you own him, Jason. But listen, I'm not going to try and talk you out of captaining a player that you think is going to do well. But I think there are, for me, Haaland and Palmer are the standouts. Maybe sneak Salah into that conversation as well. Torn between Son and Havertz and Porro. And rolling or getting Palmer, Watkins and Powell for a hit. Third option is Son and Havertz to Palmer and Moniz. Thoughts? I don't love selling Havertz. But overall, Palmer, Watkins and Powell for only a -4. I actually don't mind that, Liam. I would say in order of what I prefer is just about rolling, then Son, Havertz, Porro option, then the just Son and Havertz being the sold option. Jota or Diaz? Diogo Jota for sure for me. Yeah. Which mid should I buy for 5.8 million? Boring, but Smith Rowe and Rogers. If you don't need him this week, Minte would be my standout option. Even Semenyo is still a good shout as well. Missed you, Eggman. Thank you very much, Rishi. Good to see you back after the long football break. Much love to you and that bald egg got in Madweke for Nkunku. Thank you for the love and good luck with your transfer. We're going to have an even longer break now. I've got the international break coming. It's far from ideal. It's not what we want. Cool. There are at least 20 to 30% of people who watch these streams, by the way, that don't subscribe. So that means that around, quick maths with Raptor, over 1,000 of you aren't subscribed right now that are watching this. So if that's you, please do subscribe. I appreciate it a lot. Start Robinson or Ben Johnson? Robinson, for sure. Anantha has become a Rap Tier 2 member. Thank you very much, Anantha. What a cool name as well. Anantha Krishnan. Fantastic name. I feel like my name's really boring in comparison. Simon, Solanke to Watkins for free means benching Pedro. Yes. Yeah, I wouldn't have an issue with benching Pedro this week. Ciao, Pedro. I assume that is. Johnson or Fass, worth changing to Concert/Powell. 4th and 5th in defence slot or save the 0.5. Currently 0.8 in the bank, so would have 0.3 after. I think longer term, having 2 4 million defenders will cause you issues. But right now, Johnson's got Fulham. We think he'll start. Fass is at least starting. He's not got the worst fixture at the moment. Do you know, I'd probably leave it for now. I don't think you need to do that. But it depends on who your other 3 defenders are, of course, as well. Gian says, or John, sorry I butchered your name. Choose one to bench from Smith Rowe, Rogers, João Pedro. João Pedro. Currently got Pedro on the bench. When do we give up on Eze? I will give up on Eze. Well, firstly, I'm not going to do it next week because he's got Leicester at home. So even if Eze stinks it up and Palace don't score, spoiler alert, I'm not selling Eze next week. But if he looks bad, against Chelsea, I'll be very tempted to sell him. But if he's still getting the chances, like, I know it's boring to say and we want points. Like, getting chances means nothing if they don't deliver the points. But he has the quality to deliver those points. And so does Mateta. And so does Kamada. It's not like he's playing in a team where you don't expect them to convert. So Eze will get at least the next 2 weeks for me. But I will consider from Game Week 5 onwards selling him. Because the fixtures also aren't amazing from Game Week 5 onwards. Nikhil has become a Rap Tier 1 member. Thank you very much. We've already had 3 new members join the team, community, whatever you want to call it. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Haaland or Salah captain / Semenyo or Vardy to have. I'd rather Semenyo than Vardy, and I would rather captain Haaland than Salah. God, look at that decisiveness. By the way, on the captaincy poll at the moment, we've had over 6,000 votes. 55% are captaining Haaland, 21% Salah, 16% Palmer, and 7% other. And I think other is a mixture between Saka, Watkins, and ISAK. So if you're looking for the most template captain, it is Haaland. After that, very close between Salah and Palmer. I would actually say that Salah and Palmer are dead equal. And I know Salah is slightly ahead in my poll, but remember you're watching a stream of which I own and captained Salah, or I am captaining Salah. So I reckon Salah and Palmer will be neck and neck for captaincy. And then, yeah, Saka, who I thought might become a very popular captain, barely anyone's going for. So if you want a cheeky differential captain, Saka at home against Brighton. Edan has said, thank you for the great content. You're more than welcome. Is it worth selling Madueke for Eze in Game Week 4 to earn the 0.1 from Madueke price rise tonight? I wouldn't be thinking about transfers based on price changes. I'd rather just have Eze now. Yeah, I'd probably just rather have Eze now. And if you like Madueke, if you've already got Madueke, I wouldn't sell him just to gain value on him. I'd just keep him if you think he's a good option. I don't know if I fully understood the question there, but I wouldn't be thinking about price changes in that much detail. And Burmo captain, I love that. I actually genuinely do love that. Southampton have looked a bit poor, in all honesty. Although, I don't know, that first like 20, 30 minutes against Newcastle, before the red card even, they were great. That second half against Newcastle, they were really bad, I think. And then their second game against, mind blank, Forest, they were, again, really poor. So, we'll see. Bench 1 of Smith Rowe, Rogers, Moniz. In that case, Smith Rowe, because you've got Moniz. But if you want to go all in, bench Rogers and just hope that Fulham score lots of goals. Take a hit to replace Barco with Nedeljkovic in order to bench Munoz. No. The way that I view this, and I spoke about this in yesterday's video, so you're saying you're going to bring in Nedeljkovic for Barco, so you lose 4 points. Let's say Munoz even only gets 1 point, and I think he could get more with an attacking return, maybe a clean sheet. Let's say Munoz gets you 1 point, so Nedeljkovic has to get more than 5 points to pay back the hit this week. So if Nedeljkovic gets you a clean sheet, which I don't even think is overly likely against Leicester, but if he does, then you've gained 1 point. And that's not best case scenario, but that's hoping that he gets a clean sheet or an attacking return. So I rarely like taking hits for defenders, I'll be honest. Any leaks for about starting 11 news? I've not seen anything yet, but I would imagine in the next, I don't know, 20 minutes, we might start getting some early team news. Potentially. I mean, we might not as well. Arsenal aren't as leaky as some other teams when it comes to team news. Robertson Armstrong versus Robinson Wissa on Wildcard. Robertson and João Pedro, if that's an option. I don't like Armstrong, so as a result, I say Robinson and Wissa, but I love the idea of getting Robertson in. I just don't like Armstrong as an option. Palmer and Uijo benched, or Jota and Cunha? Palmer. Palmer for sure. Bench 1 of Smith Rowe, Rogers, or Mateta? Probably Mateta, actually. Yeah, probably Mateta. Hey, mate, I'm having such FOMO on Palmer for Saka. Sorry, on Palmer. Would you do Palmer for Saka? Any thoughts? P.S. Watching your stream in a telly in a cafe bar in Budapest. That is amazing. What? So the cafes agreed to put me on the screen in Budapest. That's amazing. Send me a picture on Twitter if you can. I'd love to see that. And to answer your question, I have no issue doing Saka to Palmer if it's for free. But I equally think that, yes, it is FOMO driven, because could Saka against Brighton outscore Palmer against Palace? Absolutely he could. So it's not a move that I would want to make, but I do understand it. Next week, it might be a move that I make because then Saka's got Spurs and City, and I think it's a better entry point, a better exit point for Bukayo Saka. Hey Ross, mad love, bro. Thank you very much, Nikhil. Thoughts on starting Rodgers or Havertz? Start Porro or Anderson? I would prefer to start Havertz ahead of Rodgers, and I would prefer to start Porro ahead of Anderson. So yeah, I would bench Rodgers and Anderson there. Dan Smith has been a Raptor member for 34 months. What a legend. Held in Kunku as I've had Rodgers. Liked Smith Rowe, but created a benching headache. But now regretting the price drop. Feels like a season full of indecision with pricing. Yeah, that's a tough one. I think you might have made the right decision, though. Because all you're doing is making a move that you then causes you a benching headache. And now you've got an extra free transfer to use on something else, Dan. So I don't mind that. Devash says, hi, on my wildcard, Palmer and Wissa or Watkins and Jota, which duo? I'd want Palmer on a wildcard, so I would say Palmer and Wissa. Skrezar, still don't know how to pronounce your name. Thank you very much for becoming a Raptid 2 member. I appreciate it very much. What a legend. Start one of Munoz or Colwell this week. Munoz. Munoz for me. Hi Ross, who would you start? Murphy, Hall, or Johnson? Murphy. And just hope that he plays. And even if he doesn't, it'll come off the bench, right? Bench Wood or Smith Rowe? Smith Rowe for me. No question, man, but love the content. Keep it up. Thank you very much, Igley. That's very sweet of you. Thank you. We have got just over half an hour till the deadline. Make sure you think about your team's locked in. I need to take a screenshot of my team, actually, for when I post it after the deadline. I think I'm done. So if you've not read the text above the screen, I already made my move on Sunday to selling Kunku to Rodgers, and I've got 3.5 mil in the bank. Now, what I actually want to do with that, who knows? Who knows what I want to do with that? But I've got many an option. The only other thing I could do this week is I could sell Diogo Jota for Palmer for a hit and captain Palmer. Which is tempting, but selling Jota for a hit just screams knee-jerk, screams regret. Because again, if Jota gets one attacking return, I need Palmer to get like 10 points plus to make the hit back. Then when you take into account captaincy, great. Yeah, it's nice that I'd then captain Palmer, but then it has more potential to go wrong. Because if Salah outscores Palmer, then it's a double sort of jeopardy, whammy, whatever you want to call it. It's not good. So it could go amazingly, but it could also go very wrong. And I don't love the idea of doing that as a result. So I probably won't do it. And then the only other thing I could do is ISAK to Watkins. But for me, it would be for a hit. If it was for free, I'd be more tempted. But I still probably wouldn't do it. I've got a decent feeling about ISAK this week, you know. Maybe it's just copium for the fact that he still hasn't done anything. I just want him to do well. One player to bench. Lewis, Konsa, Robinson, Porro. Yeah, I'd probably bench Konsa there, you know. Would I? If it was Leicester at home, I'd probably start Konsa. But Leicester away, I think Leicester will score. And Konsa doesn't have much attacking threat. I'd probably start Lewis, Robinson and Porro. Is it worth it to sell Solanke to Watkins for a -4? Depends who you would start instead. If instead you're starting like, I don't even know, like a rubbish defender that you don't think will do very well, then yeah. But if instead you're starting like Smith Rowe or Rodgers, then no, don't make the move. So it depends who you would start if you don't make the move to run. Bench one of Saka, Eze, Jota, Smith Rowe, Son, Havertz, ISAK, and Muniz. I feel like everyone's got the same set of players. I guess this is slightly different with Son. But you wouldn't bench Son, you wouldn't bench Havertz, can't bench ISAK. Eze and Saka, wouldn't bench Jota. It's Smith Rowe or Muniz. Just pick whichever one you like more. I think Muniz has more chance of scoring a goal, but Smith Rowe gets an extra point for a clean sheet and an extra point for a goal. And he's going to be very good for bonus points because he'll create a fair amount. I would say it's a 50-50 between Muniz and Smith Rowe, but I'd slightly prefer to start Muniz. What are your thoughts on Quavers? I think they're mid-tier. Don't ask Pickle about Quavers. She does not like Quavers. She finds Quavers rather gross.
I've literally never even eaten one.
It's the smell. Yeah, the smell of Quavers. Like the thing is, what's it smell very cheesy, but they're not as bad as Quavers. Sorry, this is just such a random cheese crisp chat. I feel like, are they just UK Watsits and Quavers? I feel like there are going to be people in the other country that have no idea. Quavers and Watsits are like both cheesy-based crisps. Anyway, what are my thoughts on Quavers? I actually quite like them. But I know not everyone does. Trent, Smith Rowe, Wissa, or Robbo and Burmo Muniz? Why couldn't you go Trent, Smith Rowe, and Moniz? Oh, has he risen in price, hasn't he? Trent, Smith Rowe, and Wissa, actually. Yeah. Trent, Smith Rowe, and Wither. I had like list there. Bench one of Ben Johnson, Udogie, or Lewis Hall. Bench one, Lewis Hall. I'd start Johnson and Udogie. I don't think Lewis Hall will start again. I think it'll be Kelly. Facts, Calvin. What did Calvin say? Whatsits clear Quavers. Oh, no, that's true. Whatsits are elite, though. Whatsits are an elite tier crisp. Quavers, I would agree. They're mid tier. No, I would agree with your comment. Yeah, Whatsits are elite. The giant Whatsits. Oh, I would stuff a giant Whatsit in my gob right now. I'm very hungry. Giant Whatsits slap. Hard. I am starving. Yeah, I haven't eaten. Okay, one question. Burnley or Blackburn today? Burnley. Don't ask me why. Burnley. Bench Eze, Rogers, or Wood? Oh, God, it's just the same. I still don't know the answer to your questions. Rogers. I think I've been fairly consistent. I worry that throughout the stream that I'm going to be like going against what I've said earlier in the stream, but I just answer each question as it comes into my mind. I think for me, it doesn't feel great benching the likes of Rogers and Smith Rowe, but do also put into perspective what they are as assets. Smith Rowe and Rogers aren't like Salah and Saka. They're not an ISAK. They're not an Ollie Watkins. These aren't assets that are going to get you goals and assists every single week. So yeah, it doesn't feel great benching them due to the fixtures, but also, you know, bench Rogers or Eze. Yeah, I'd bench Rogers ahead of Eze for me. I'm going to take a swig of my water. 2 seconds. My computer started doing that thing where it says encoding overload. It's not what you want to see. Porro or Robinson? At the moment, I would prefer to start Robinson, but I think this is extremely close and probably closer than I gave it credit for. Is Barco price locked? Yes. Any leaks for Arsenal versus Brighton? Not that I've seen yet, but any mods in the chat? Do let me know if we see anything. And the only reason I say mods is because people always post fake stuff, but I trust the mods. So if you see any Arsenal early team leaks, please let me know. Start Moniz or Smith Rowe. I said it's 50-50, honestly. Honestly, just flip a coin or just choose who you think's a better asset. I think Moniz's minutes are slightly better, or at least they have been over the opening two. He's got slightly greater goal threat. Smith Rowe has the clean sheet point and the extra point for a goal. Can you answer my super chat, please, Ross? Did I not? Did I miss it, Tommy Pickles? What a name. If that's your actual name, Tommy Pickles, what a name. We do love the Pickles. Oh. Start Bailey or Rogers, or play both and bench Smith Rowe. I'd start Bailey and Smith Rowe in your case then. I still think Bailey's probably a slightly better option than Rogers, but not worth the extra money to pay for. But if you own him already, yeah. Bruno to Palmer captain for a -4. No Haaland, but got Salah and Saka as other captaincy options. I'm on 123 points overall and got some catching up to do. Bruno to Palmer for a... Yeah, if you're going to captain him, I don't mind that. I would only want to do that if I felt like he was the best captain. So yeah, absolutely go for it. Albin with the wildcard team says Fleck and Konsa, Robbo, Mikalenko, Robinson, Salah, Saka, Palmer, Smith Rowe, Rogers, Haaland. 0.2 in the bank. Suggestions and top 5. Top 5, £4.5 million defenders. God, you've asked about 40 things here. Yeah, team's fine. I wouldn't pick Mikalenko on a wildcard team in a million years based on what we've seen. And I would want an Arsenal defender. In all honesty, it's not my favourite wildcard draft. If you want a very brief, and you can screenshot it because I don't want to spend too long, here are 2 very quick wildcard drafts I put together. If you want to go Salah and Haaland, or you want to go just Salah, I didn't also build a Haaland only one. But these are like if you're on a wildcard, basically screenshot and have a look. This is roughly what I'd be going for. KDB or Son captain or Jota. Out of all of those options, I probably think Son captain's the best. I'm losing my voice, chat. I think Son out of KDB, Son, Jota would be my favourite captain. Got the pens, hasn't he? Always favour the penalty takers if you can. How many points for Rodgers this week? My prediction for Rodgers this week is 8. I think Rodgers will score and get a bonus point. 1 bonus point. That's my prediction. I'd be very surprised if he gets more than that, in all honesty. And I wouldn't be surprised if he comes away with a 2-pointer. Is Hall/Quansah to Pau Torres worth a hit to bench Greaves? No, I don't think so. I'd just start Greaves. Yeah, I'd start Greaves. I did Luca Dean for Quanza till wildcard 6. What are your thoughts? Don't love it, honestly, because I think Luca Dean could be dropped for Maatsen. Not this week. I think this week you're fine. You'll get a Luca Dean start. But from game week 4, I mean, it might be that Unai Emery prefers Maatsen in the Champions League and Luca Dean continues to start the Prem games, but we don't know that yet. And Maatsen was bought for a lot of money. And every time he's come on, I say every time, the 2 games that he's come off the bench, he's got this, I've got this feeling that he's just a top quality player. Like, he looks different gravy on the ball. So, yeah, that's my opinion on that situation. Opinions improvements on my wildcard. Okay, I did just show the wildcard, so obviously go back and refer to that. Raya, Trent, Pau Torres, Pinnock, Salah, Saka, Palmer, Eze, Rodgers, Watkins, Wissa, João Pedro. Yeah, lovely. 9 out of 10. No major issues. My only slight concern would be longer term with Sepp van den Berg signing, it might be that Pinnock's minutes aren't as secure as they have been in the past. I'm just hypothesizing, but there's a chance that Pinnock's the one that comes out eventually for him. If he does at all. It might be that Van den Berg's been signed for backup, but didn't they pay like 25 million for him? I'd be a little bit concerned there. Start Wood or Smith Rowe? I would start Wood. Rich says, just wanted to congratulate you on FPL Therapy, Ross. Incredible format and my new favourite content. Thank you very much. Any plans to get Andy from Let's Talk on? I know he's based in Ireland, but the banter would be epic. I've already asked Andy. He lives in Galway, obviously, as you say, and he's just never in the UK. So, and if he is, I record on a Monday afternoon in London. Like, the chances of him being in the UK and available on a Monday afternoon, I think it's very rare that I'll ever get Andy on. But if Andy is in the UK for an extended period, I'll do my best to get him on for sure. BJ, what a name, says, love your channel, Ross. João Pedro, Smith Rowe and Eze, bench 1. I'd bench João Pedro for this week. I mean, Arsenal's just not a good fixture, is it? Got Robbo, Trent and Mbeumo, or stay at Lewis KDB wildcard? Wait, I'm so confused. Got Robbo, Trent and Mbeumo, or stay at Lewis KDB? I don't even know what the question is. I don't really love Lewis or KDB as options at the moment, really. So I would say Robbo, Trent and Mbeumo. That series of players looks good. Who won the transfer deadline day? I reckon Crystal Palace. And Nketiah, Chalobah, Lacroix, don't know how to pronounce it. Gay staying, let the clean sheets come. Yeah, it was very solid. I would also say Forest had a very decent deadline day as well. Overall, considering. James Ward-Prowse is a lovely signing, I think. Who else had a great? I think Arsenal did very well. Sterling's a great signing, by the way. 6.8 million. He's dropped twice in price. Sterling's on the radar. I just think he won't get enough minutes at first. Start João Pedro or Porro. Oh, that's a really good one. João Pedro or Porro. Start João Pedro or Porro. I don't know. I would start João Pedro. Just about. Yeah. Chunk's team. Sorry, Chunk sent me his team. Looks good. I'd keep it as is. Palace captain versus Palace. Sorry, Palmer captain versus Palace defense or safe Haaland away. I actually think Palmer versus Haaland is very close, but I would prefer Haaland if I had him. Yeah, I'd prefer Haaland away. I still think it's a slightly better option. Haaland just looks very good at the moment. Bench Eze, Garnacho, Smith Rowe, or Rodgers? Garnacho. Polkit says, no question, just a big thanks for amazing content here and on FPL Therapy. Inspired from what you do to one loves. I started an FPL YouTube channel, FPL Trio. Very nice. Thank you very much. I will make sure to check that out. Everyone check out FPL Trio. I love to hear that I've inspired people to start a YouTube channel. That's actually the dream. That is actually the dream. Where was I? Henderson, Trent, Porro, Gvardiol, Salah, Saka, Eze, Rodgers, Watkins, Muniz, Isak. Lovely team. Did Solanke to Watkins -4. First sub Robinson. Thoughts? I would personally just about prefer Robinson ahead of Porro, but that's a very nice team. 32 Jot. I like it a lot. No major issues. Yeah, I think you're sorted. Very solid. Dunson to Palmer, Pedro Porro to Consa with 2 free transfers. Yeah, I actually quite like that. Yeah, very nice cap. No issues with me. I'm very jealous of anyone that has Palmer. If I had Palmer, I would probably captain him this week in my team. Again, if you look at the top of the graphic, in order, I would rank the captains Haaland, Palmer, Salah, Saka, ISAK, Watkins. Those are my favourite captains. Midfield is Rodgers, Palmer, Jota, Gordon, Smith Rowe. Forwards are ISAK, Haaland, Meniz. Who would you bench? Oh, it's another tough one, Chintan. I would say... Yeah, it's probably one of Smith Rowe or Meniz there. Maybe just remove one of your Fulham attackers. Hey, Ross, can you shave your head if United win? I promise if Man United win, I'll shave my head, yeah. In fact, I promise if Man United win or lose... Oh, my hat's really wonky. Wait, which way does it go? Everything's reversed in the camera. That's not ideal. Salah, ISAK out for Watkins, Palmer, Haaland, Cap. Sorry, Salah, ISAK out for Watkins, Palmer, and Captain Haaland. I hate the idea of selling Salah and ISAK, so no. Not for me. Start Wood or Bailey, or Wood to Meniz and Bailey to Rodgers. Oh, I'd start probably Wood ahead of Bailey, but I wouldn't be making moves. If those are your options to decide who to start, I think you're fine. You've got just over 20 minutes till the deadline. Make sure you get your teams locked in. How about if Man United win, you have to do the next stream in a wig? I'll think about it. I'd need to buy a wig firstly. Believe it or not, I don't own a wig. So... Wait, what? Sharky's bought in Nicholas Jackson and he might captain him. What is going on? Why not use your sub goalkeeper? What do you mean? Like start him instead? There's just no... He's not going to play, so... If you mean why not have two goalkeepers, I just find it very difficult to try and rotate and work out when my goalkeeper's going to do well. So that's the reason for that. Hi, Egg. Is this your final team? I think so, yeah. I'm pretty happy with it. I am thinking I might put the Vice armband on ISAK. But I do think Saka's... No, I'm going to leave it on Saka. Hopefully I don't need it. If I need my Vice armband, it means Salah hasn't featured. And if that's the case, I'm in big trouble. Start Robinson defender or Semenyo. Love you, Egg Daniel. Yeah, Egg Danielle. Are you saying you are Danielle or are you calling me Danielle? I don't know what's happening. I would start Semenyo, absolutely. Eggy Weg. Right, everyone's just calling me a big egg now. Lewis Hardy says, hey, Russ, currently at work, so unable to watch the stream. Tuning in really quick because I have a benching headache. Okay. Bench Eze, Rodgers, Smith Rowe, or Wood. Oh, my Lord. Yeah, I hate that people have these... I feel responsible because it's difficult, right? But when I look at that, in isolation, looking at nothing else in your team, I'd bench Rodgers. If you also had a Meniz there and you wanted to spread the risk a little bit, you could bench a Smith Rowe. But yeah, when I just look at that in itself, Lewis, I would bench Rodgers. Start Wood or ISAK? I'd start ISAK. Need to sell Solanke, already have Kai and ISAK, 8 million. You could take a cheeky punt on Mateta if you wanted to kind of keep that price point there. But I think for me, I'd be looking to go all the way down to a Meniz, a Wissa, and Eva Nilsson or a João Pedro. One of those four. Apologies, I hadn't noticed you'd already done loads of Wildcard. That's okay, mate. I will switch Pinnock. I would be interested which thesis you chose for your bachelor's. For my bachelor's degree, I looked at the role of sleep in eyewitness testimony. I did my bachelor's in psychology, and I was very interested in sleep and also memory. So it was how, very briefly, because I don't want to lose viewers, it was how if you sleep in between when you see a crime and then when you report the crime, does that improve or reduce the accuracy of your memory? So that was the thesis. It was around sleep and memory in relation to eyewitness testimony. I didn't actually do sports psychology until my master's degree. My master's degree was penalty taken under pressure. That was the thesis for my master's. So there we go. Anyway, I'm going to shut up about psychology. My PhD thesis. No, okay, shut up. We'll do that after the stream. We've only got just over 15 minutes left till the end of the stream. ESR or Gordon to bench. Should Eze start? Yeah, Eze I'd start. I'd probably bench Smith Rowe and start Gordon. Hi, Ross. Similar team to you. Do you think Bruno to Palmer for a -4 hit? I'd be very tempted, yeah. Otherwise, would be Saka cap because I don't want to captain Salah, thanks. I'd be very tempted, Bilal. If you don't want to captain Salah and you'd captain Palmer if you brought him in, I'd be very tempted. Stop with the nerdy egg. Sorry. I apologise. But what was the outcome? Does it improve it? Very briefly, memory consolidates sleep, which means... Sorry, sleep consolidates memory, which means that sleep will improve your memory. But because it consolidates memory and makes all of these links, it actually leads to more inaccurate eyewitness testimony. So you should never, if there are any police watching this, you should never ask someone to recall a memory, specifically a crime, after they've slept. You should always do it before they sleep. There you go. Done. No more nerd talk. Hall to Robertson or Barco to Nedeljkovic and bench Hall. Or Hall to Robertson sounds beautiful. Yeah, I'll do that. How are you juggling content in your PhD? I'll answer that in 20 minutes. Not very well. Got just over 15 minutes till the deadline. Make sure you start to think about locking in your teams. I haven't seen any early team news yet, but to be honest, Arsenal are pretty predictable anyway. The only spot we're probably a little bit unsure on is that left-back position. Other than that, I'd be extremely surprised if it's not the same team. I suppose Trossard-Martinelli on the left could be an interesting one. Is Johnson from Ipswich starting? I'm not an Ipswich fan, but I would be inclined to say yes, but I don't know. Do you think Saka is a better pick for this game week? Than who? For captain? Than, I mean, I think he's the fourth best captain this week. Do I bench Rodgers or Wood? Rodgers for me, Julian. Yeah, I would rather start Wood. I don't think Wood's great. I don't think his minutes are great, but he's a number 9. He's a forward and he scores goals and he'll find ways to get goals. Rodgers, we don't know that right now, right? We don't know whether Rodgers is a goal scorer. We don't know if he is the type to go out there and get loads of returns. Wood has shown over a very long period of time now that he can get goals. And so whilst he will get an early sub, I still think he's fine. Gordon to Rodgers and ISAK to Watkins for free. No, I wouldn't sell Gordon and ISAK before a home fixture myself. By the way, if you're one of the 6,200 people watching, thank you very much. Please drop a like on the stream, but more importantly than that, please consider subscribing. Lots of content throughout the week, so if you are new to the channel and you're enjoying it, I would love if you'd join me for the journey and make sure you subscribe. Blicky94 says, 2 free transfers, and I have Robinson, Saliba, Trent, Davis, Mikalenko, Bailey, Smith Rowe, Saka, Salah, Gordon, ISAK, Watkins, and Jefferson. Thinking Gordon to Rodgers or Mikalenko to a Villa defender, what are your thoughts? And if so, which Villa defender? I don't love Gordon to Rodgers. I prefer Villa defender for Mikalenko. I think you could go for Nedeljkovic at 4 million. It looks like he'll start this week. I'd imagine Nedeljkovic starts for the next few weeks. But beyond that, I don't know. So probably I would go Pau Torres or Konsa, and I think either are fine. They're both as nailed as each other. Konsa so far has shown a little bit more attacking threat, but I think Pau Torres maybe get more assists. His passing's a little bit better, and also he is still in there for set pieces. So yeah, I think Mikalenko to Pau Torres or Konsa I'd go for. G. Davidson has become a Rap Tier 1 member. Thank you very much. That is now 5 new members in the stream. Love to see it. Quansah to Konsa. Love that. Or ISAK to Watkins. Quansah to Konsa. I think Quansah is a bigger issue than ISAK at the moment. So yeah, I would go that way. ISAK or Wood? ISAK. Second free transfer. Get Porro or just play him. Get Porro out or just play him. I just play him. Porro is basically like an attacker anyway, isn't he? He could absolutely do something for you. Jota or Gordon? I mean, this week maybe Gordon, but I think longer term, I still prefer Jota. It's just the minutes, right? Gordon's minutes are always going to be much stronger than Jota's minutes. I hate that you've talked me into unbenching ISAK. Yeah, that 2 points is going to really annoy you now, Frosty. That 2 points is going to really grind your gears. You love to see it. Solanke to Watkins for a hit or start Garnacho? I'd be tempted to just start Garnacho. I don't think he'll do a great deal, but I'd be very tempted. I'm late. Any team news? No team news as of right now. Smith Rowe or Maniz to bench? I'd just about bench Smith Rowe, but it's a 50-50 really, isn't it? It's so close. I mean, they're playing for the same attack. They've both got good data. They're both going to get the chances. Yeah. I don't really love my team, I'm not going to lie. Hopefully I have a good weekend regardless. We're celebrating our anniversary, so I can focus on that rather than football. We're going out for dinner tonight, and you know Haaland plays just before we go out for dinner, or is it in the process of playing as we're going out?
Oh no. That's
Yeah, I'm gonna ruin dinner. I'm gonna sit there across from dinner, all like this, grumpy. It's not what you want. If Haaland blanks, though, I want to be delightful company. If Haaland blanks, I'm going to be wonderful to have a date with. Where was I?
Then I won't be a good.
This is true. Yeah, one of us is not going to be happy. Are you married? No. We're just boyfriend girlfriend. It's our 1 year anniversary in terms of since we started. Boyfriend girlfriend friends. Hi Raptor. Can I bench Nkunku this week? Oh, I can bench Nkunku this week and have Smith Rowe, Salah, Saka, Eze, ISAK, Meniz as attackers with Nkunku and Pedro on the bench. But I do have 2.5 million in the bank. So should I sell Nkunku, but then bench Meniz or Smith Rowe? I have triple Fulham. No, I think if you're in a position where you don't have to sell Nkunku, you've already lost 0.2 on him, right? So it's not like he's not fallen yet and you've already lost a bit of money. So yeah, I think you're absolutely in a position there by the sounds of it that you could just get away with benching Nkunku. I think that's fine, Anurag. I'd be happy doing that, for sure. You've got just over 10 minutes until the deadline. Absolutely think about getting those teams locked in. Get those teams locked. Get your bench order sorted. Make sure your vice captain sorted. There will be a week where you just don't pay much attention to your bench order or your vice captain, and you end up in that week needing it. That will be the lesson. But hopefully you don't need to learn the lesson, because I'm telling you right now, it can be painful. There are so many times that I'm like, why didn't I think about my vice captain or bench in more detail? So spend the next 10 minutes just making sure that's sorted as well. Michael Daura, become a Rap 2 member. Thank you. The 6th member of the stream. Love to see it. Dan, thoughts on Porro Henderson to Konsa or Pau/Raya? Porro and Henderson. I mean, I like it, but is that the best use of your transfers? And if that's for a hit, definitely not. Especially with Raya's upcoming 3 fixtures. I feel like you could probably just get away with Porro and Henderson, personally. Bench Konsa or Robinson. Also have Meniz and Rodgers. I would bench Konsa and start Robinson. Benching headache between Jota, ISAK, and Rodgers. I'd bench Rodgers. Frosty with the big boy super chat. Here's some money for Pickle to drown her sorrows as you sulk about Haaland's hat-trick tonight. No. Yes. There you go. Frosty with a big boy super chat said, here's some money for Pickle to drown her sorrows as you sulk about Haaland's hat-trick tonight.
Oh. Thank you, Frosty. Yeah, that will be needed.
Thank you for the super chat, man. I appreciate it. I'll make sure to spend that on Pickle. That reminds me of the Game Week 38 live stream last year, and everyone was like, here's some money for Pickle. And I was like, right, I'll have to spend all this money on Pickle now. Bench Rodgers, Smith Rowe, or Jota. I still think Rodgers in that case. God, my computer's wanting to give up on me. Any Arsenal news? No, I've not seen anything, actually. Abu N1, you've said 100 times that I've missed your super chat, but you missed me answering your super chat. How about that? I've already answered it. I remember it. Hi, Ross. Should I captain Smith Rowe or Salah? Smith Rowe or Salah for captain? Salah. I wouldn't be giving the armband to Smith Rowe. I love Salah, man. Salah's my goat. And I know I'm a Man United fan, so it's weird to say that. But from an FPL perspective, start Robinson or A. Yeah, but this is it. Like, it's a win-win. Salah smashes, and then at least my FPL team does well. Salah doesn't, and maybe Man United can get a result. You got. It's technically a lose-lose or a win-win, but is my camera gone? Oh no! Code red chat. This is not the time just before the bloody deadline for the camera to stream. Camera to stream. That is what I meant. You know what I mean. Hall or Johnson, please help. I'd rather start Johnson. Johnson.
Yeah, I saw Luke starting Johnson, even though I've got Robinson, I can't like it.
Osimhen is excluded from the Napoli squad for the season. What? That is crazy. I'll have to look into that in a second. Aston Villa defender or Porro this week? I'd honestly probably start Porro myself. FPL Praz is on Sky Sports, and he's saying that he really likes Leif Davis from Ipswich for the next 5. I spoke about this in my videos this week. Yeah, Leif Davis is a great 4.5 shout. He's had the most final third touches out of all players for Ipswich in the opening 2 games. FPL Newsletter have sent a tweet out. Okay, give me a sec. Bit of a pickle. Hey, ain't Nuri or Saliba? Saliba. Where's my camera? Is my camera back? No. Why is it doing that? Hello. There we are. Sorry, apparently there's a tweet. I just want to check.
I can't see it.
Oh, have they not? Oh, apparently there's no tweet on Lazy FPL. Okay. Then I'll go back.
Oh, I'm starving.
Yeah, I'm so hungry as well. You've got just over 5 minutes till the deadline. Oh, it's Boona trolling. Okay, there we go. Sorry, I was going to say, because we're checking it and we can't see it. Yeah, it's FPL Boona pretending to be... He's probably in the live stream. He's always in the live stream. He's probably loving life, thinking, I've got him again. Who do I bench in midfield? Jota, Hudson-Odoi, Smith-Rowe, Eze. Ooh, maybe Hudson-Odoi there. I hope you're married for 50 plus years, but pickle and egg are a horrible combo, especially a pickled egg or an egged pickle. Thank you very much. Listen, pickled eggs aren't the worst. They are, but it's okay. Trent, Smith-Rowe and Raya, or Robertson, Jota and Martinez, wildcard. My initial instinct looking at that was Smith-Rowe, Trent and Raya. One free transfer, Gordon to Rodgers or Smith-Rowe. Got Porro, ISAK. I wouldn't sell Gordon. I'd keep Gordon. Who do I bench? Eze, Smith-Rowe, Gordon, Madueke or Jota? If that was my team, I'd bench Madueke. Solanke to Watkins for a -4. Very weak bench. I'd maybe concentrate on upgrading your bench if it's that weak then. But yeah, I don't mind it. A pickled egg and a bag of cheese and onion walkers is top tier. Frosty, that sounds filth. That sounds like you'd smell for the next 20 years. Yeah, I don't like cheese and onion crisps, but I'm a weirdo. I know everyone else does.
I don't love them, but I don't mind them.
I love that we're talking about this with 5 minutes of the deadline. Bench Maniz, Eze or Smith-Rowe. Not Eze, one of Smith-Rowe or Maniz. It's completely up to you who you prefer to start or bench in that situation. Love your work from Margaret River, Western Australia, Roscoe. I'm new to FPL from AFL Fantasy and your content is a huge help. Thank you very much, Tom. I appreciate it. FPL newsletter saying Gabriel's not starting. It's Boona. Yeah, it's Boona. It's Boona. It is Boona. No, Gabriel's not benched. It's still Boona. Everyone in the chat. Pickle will double check this right now, but I am 99% sure that is not Lazy FPL.
I looked at the account and that's what
Ignore any rumours. Any rumours that Gabriel doesn't start. It's false. It's account pretending to be Lazy FPL. Bench Aina or Robinson? Oh, I said earlier, I actually think I'll be tempted to start Aina or Lorena because of the greater chance for a clean sheet. Martinez, Smith-Rowe and Havertz or Raya, Jota, Maniz on wildcard. Raya, Jota, Maniz. Maybe. That's tough. That's very tough, actually. Under 5 minutes till the deadline. Under 5 minutes till the deadline. If you're one of the over 7,000 people watching right now that are not yet subscribed, also, in the middle of all of this, please consider subscribing. I'd appreciate it. Ross, you missed my super chat. Need it before the deadline. Let me check. We do not want to miss any of those. I do miss a lot of them, by the way. I do apologise, but my computer's froze then. Oh, dear. I don't see your super chat. Unless it was... Oh, no, I answered that one. Smith-Rowe, Rodgers, Eze Wood. In fact, I've answered that about 40 times. I would bench Rodgers. I think with benching decisions, though, honestly, just trust your gut feeling. Just trust your gut feeling. Like, no one knows what's going to happen with a benching decision. No, the Gabriel stuff. How are people still falling for it? The Gabriel stuff is false, fake. I think. Yeah, I know, man. He's done that before. He makes up a rumor and it actually ends up being true. Robinson, Robertson, or Maniz, bench one. Robinson. Trust your gut. Be mad to bench ISAK, bruh. Listen, Frosty, don't blame me. But it is mad to bench ISAK. But if your gut feeling is telling you ISAK's not going to do well, you're probably better at FPL than I am. So just trust that. Bottled the Palmer captain last week for Trent. Yeah, that's tough. That is tough. That's very tough, actually. Although Trent at least got a return. Clean sheet, right? So he could have had more as well, Trent, annoyingly. Happy anniversary, Eggy, Weggy, and Pickle. Thank you, Sarah. Appreciate you. Sam with the super chat, but no comment. Ross, you missed my super chat twice. No, I didn't. I answered that one, you numpty. -4 for Bruno to Palmer. I said I would probably do it, yeah. Only if you're going to captain him, though. And only if you really don't think Bruno's a good option. Because Bruno could do something against Liverpool. But yeah, I would do that. Probably. Or at least I'd be tempted to. Villa defence prediction. Who is going to be the defence? It'll be Nedeljkovic, Konsa, Powell, and Luka Dean, I think. But longer term, I don't know. And if you're asking if I think they'll keep a clean sheet, no, I think they'll concede 1 goal. But yeah, Nedeljkovic should start. So I'd treat him as a starting right back for Villa, in which case he's a great option. Trent or Mikalenko? Trent for sure in every world. Whether that's starting, buying, anything. Trent in every world is ahead of Mikalenko. 2 minutes left till the deadline. Everybody panic. Why are people calling your girlfriend Pickle? If you search for FPL Pickle on Twitter, that is her. She has an account called FPL Pickle. She's actually probably in the chat. She could say hello, and that would be her. You're not in the chat, are you, right now? Okay. You can say hello in the chat. That's her. She's FPL Pickle. Max, that's an outrageous comment. Welcome to the Morgan Rogers show. Fingers crossed. We really need something from Morgan Rogers for sure. That'd be lovely.
I hope so, because Unai loves him.
Yeah, Unai does love him. Frosty high on Pickle. You have a great name. Thank you, Ross. You have a great name too. Mikalenko or Munoz? Munoz for me. 1 minute till the deadline. Erdegaard out for Rodgers or Bailey. I probably wouldn't sell him, but I do probably prefer Rodgers and Bailey this week. So is Anderson starting? My prediction is yes, but I don't know. He might be given another game where he doesn't start, but I think he'll start. Colwell or Nedeljkovic? Honestly, probably Nedeljkovic. Bench Porro or João Pedro? I'd probably start Pedro Porro, actually. Believe it or not. Van Dijk or João Pedro? Oh, I'd probably start João Pedro in that case. Buy Jota for Nkunku. Yes. Yeah, that's fine still. Probably the last time you'd want to buy Jota, but yeah. Watkins or Moniz? Watkins. Robinson versus Munoz? Robinson. Robinson or Torres? Robinson. Play Van Dijk or Nkunku? Van Dijk. Minte or Van der Berg? Minte. Salah or Palmer captain? Palmer. I'm trying to get as many done as possible. Start Flecken or Pope? Flecken. Right, that is it. I can hear the what's it called? Is it the bell? I can hear a bell. It's not a church though, is it? What is it? Like a town hall. What is it? Yeah, like the thing in Nottingham. What's that called? Yeah, the clock tower. I can hear it dinging and donging. There we go. Don't leave, by the way. I'm going to carry on streaming for a little bit if my computer holds up. Wow. The klaxon. Yeah, it is the klaxon. I need to tweet out my tweem. Why can't I speak? I've got like a tweem. Why tweem? Convinced you to bench Rodgers, Frosty, and Rodgers is going to score a hat trick.
Frosty, I'm looking at your team, and because you've got Muniz, I feel like you should have just benched Smith Rowe.
I did say that.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
But Frosty probably wants to go all in on the Fulham.
Fair enough.
I'm happy with my team. For whom the bell tolks. Is Pickle watching Andy right now? Probably. No, Andy stopped streaming at the deadline, doesn't he? So stay here. You the goat egg. Thank you. Appreciate that. What was I doing? Tweet my team. God, the ADHD kicked in there hard. All at once. Just went. No, I can't bench Smith Rowe with my Arsenal bias. This is true. Game week 3 team lock. Where's the lock symbol? Then what transfer did I do? I did Nkunku to Rodgers, the best player to ever exist. And I now have 3.5 mil in the bank. Money. That's a lot of money. Lots of money to spend. I can't believe I captained Salah against United again. He does normally do quite well, to be fair.
Were you considering Saka at all?
Not really, no.
Okay.
It was for me. It's Haaland, Palmer, and Salah are the 3 best captaincy options. So I don't have Haaland or Palmer. Sadly, I captained Moniz. Wow. I hope that pays off because oh god, I'm freezing with really ugly faces. I need to be careful here. The FPL bell, FPL big in Nottingham. I feel like there's some sort of innuendo chucked in there. Right. Is that me? Game week 3 team and Nkunku to Rodgers, Salah cap. Good luck, everyone. Yep, done. And now we pray that Haaland doesn't do too many naughty things to my, you know.
I pray he does naughty things.
No, we don't pray he does naughty things. Boona got his account muted by X. That must have mean he got mass reported.
Oops.
Right, team has been tweeted. Oh, someone just sent me a picture of their cat and said he likes you, purring very loudly when I put it full screen. Chat, look at that. Someone's cat's watching me. I love that. That's so cute. Hello to your cat, if you're still watching. Wow. What an incredible stream, eh? Lovely stuff. So what do we want to talk about? Anyone want to ask me any non-FPL questions? Feel free. You want to ask me football questions? Feel free. You want to ask me why Charles Leclerc is winning at Monza? Feel free. Oh, the dream. Come on, Charles. Charles, if you're only going to win 2 Grand Prix this year, Monaco and Monza, get it done.
We're going to end up talking about crisps again.
Probably. Put a cat video on to cater to your new audience. Your PhD thesis. Yeah, it's the role of virtual reality in elite sport. So I'm working with a few Premier League clubs and we're using virtual reality with their injured players. Monza this weekend, no way is he winning. Don't be rude. Lando wins again. That's boring. Ugarte. Yeah, it should be good. He gives me Ander Herrera vibes if anyone's been watching football for a little bit longer than the last few years. Ugarte. He's a bit like a busybody. Not awful on the ball. I think he'll be good. We needed a defensive midfielder, so hopefully he works. I just worry that he's a bit chaotic, and we've already got enough chaos in our team, but hopefully Kobe Mainu next to him will be good. Ross, why did you call your name FPL Raptor? Yeah, I've said this a few times, but for anyone that's new, basically, when I created my account during lockdown, I was watching a lot of the NBA, and I just finished watching Last Dance on Netflix, and I chose my team as Toronto Raptors. So I had Raptor on the brain, and I was like, FPL Raptor, that's a quite cool name. That's it. Everyone assumes that I just love Jurassic Park, but I don't. Piastri winning, let's be real. Nah, there's no way Piastri's winning. Lando's absolutely mullering him at the moment. Red Bull are washed. I saw a theory. Don't worry, we're not going to chat about F1 the whole time, but for real F1 fans, I saw a theory that Red Bull are deliberately throwing the... This, I know this sounds crazy. Maybe it's just stupid, but that they're deliberately throwing the championship so that they get more wind tunnel time, which is basically more time to test the car for the 2025 and the new regs and stuff. So maybe. Bring Pickle back. Pickle's in the bathroom. I say bathroom, by the way. I'm mocking her in her accent. She's in the bathroom over there in this direction. Tony's gone to Saudi. Yep. Do you still keep up with the NBA? Nah, not really. It's just so difficult with my job to have the spare time. And it's always at like 2 a.m. Ross, you don't understand F1. That's not true. Why are they keeping Perez then? Because that is an absolutely stinky decision. Like, it stinks. He's awful. She pronounces it properly. I would categorically say that Bath is wrong. It's Bath. No, don't even start. You're Bath. If you bath, that's throwing up. If you bath, it's bathing. Bath. Like B-A-F-F. That's throwing up.
No, it's Bath, isn't it?
Is it? Oh, yeah. Oh, no, wait. No, that doesn't... No, wait. Okay, wipe that. That doesn't support my statement. What's another good one?
See, that is...
No. Okay, no. We...
Bath.
Oh, yeah, it's Bath. Okay, yeah. Okay. Right, I lost that discussion. No, but wait. No, chat. Hold up. There are many... It just doesn't make sense. Laugh. Oh, I'm laughing. Who's laughing?
Yeah, who's laughing?
Who's laughing? No, we're laughing. It's funny. I'm laughing.
No.
You're all wrong. Where's the R in Bath, mate?
Exactly.
I hear you. But there's no come back to that. Who let Ross cook? It's glass. It's not glass.
Yes.
Yeah, well, what would the king say? Glass. And who's correct? The king.
No.
Grass. Yeah, it's not grass. Oh, let me go and play on the grass.
Yeah, again, where's the R? After the second.
He's from Essex. We can only expect something. Where's the R in vase? Vase. Yeah, it's not vase. 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 Ross, do you think Lewis wins another title? No. I do think that Lewis could do well at Monza because he's going to be desperate to get the Tifosi on his side, isn't he? Ahead of his move to Ferrari. He's thinking, if I put in a performance here, they're going to love me when I move to Ferrari next year. Is this an FPL live stream now? Not really, no. I mean, I've still got my FPL team on screen, so we can talk about. If you want FPL questions, ask me. But no, this is like a out of hours kind of stream. What is your favourite takeaway food? It is Indian. One second, I'm going to sit on my leg because my bum's gone to sleep and I want to... Who's coming on FPL therapy next? FPL Fran. Great, very excited for that one. And then it is your boy Chunks after that. Actually, tomorrow it's just me. I'm doing a solo pod because it's the international break. I just thought I'd do just a chilled solo pod. But the week after... Oh, I just almost hiccuped. Oh, it's Saturday, isn't it? Sorry. Monday is me. The Monday after it's Fran. Then we have Chunks. I love Fran as well. Yeah, Fran's great. Pickle team update. Of course, Jen. Did you tweet it?
Yeah.
I love that you said, yeah, of course. Oh, you've just gone, Pickle.
What do you mean?
You're gone from my team. My team, my screen is what I meant to say. I'm clearly very hungry and tired here.
Yeah, your brain's not quite working right now, I don't think.
Pickle, you've almost got 8,500 followers. You're famous.
Wait, what?
Well, you're on 8,371.
Oh. I thought you meant I've jumped to 8.4 and I was like, what?
This is Pickle's team. So it's the same as mine, but Smith Rowe and Haaland versus Salah and Moniz. I know who I'd prefer, and that's Salah because Haaland's washed. No,
How much XG did Haaland against West Ham last time?
Yeah. I'd rather Haaland than Smith Rowe, I'll be honest. But this is why she's better at FPL than I am. I just accepted it. Bit embarrassing. Is it embarrassing? Yeah, sure. But she's got you by the balls. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Get Stormzy on. Stormzy's like the most busy man in the world. Getting Stormzy on is going to happen, but I just don't know when. Is Mr. Beast coming on? Yeah, Mr. Beast is actually a massive fan of the channel, so I don't think Mr. Beast even knows about the Premier League, to be honest. More on sleep and memory findings, Ross. Yeah, there's basically, without nerding out too much, because I don't want to lose half the people watching, but sleep is factually proven to consolidate memory. When we say consolidate, it strengthens. And the reason that it does that is when you're asleep, this isn't obviously the exact way it works, but the brain finds connections and pathways and links things together whilst you're sleeping. If anyone's ever revised for an exam, have you ever been where you're cramming at 11 p.m, midnight, 1 a.m, and you're like, I am not going to remember everything for the exam tomorrow. And then you wake up in the morning, you're like, crap, I remember much more than I thought. And it's because when you're asleep, your brain consolidates everything that's going on. So a piece of advice to you, if you have to remember a script or you have to remember something for a job interview or whatever it is, if you revise before you go to sleep, you're much more likely to remember than if you revise it in the morning. So anyway, we've got all this research that sleep consolidates memory, but what we don't know is how sleep affects eyewitness testimonies, because there's one theory which says, right, if sleep consolidates memory, surely if you let someone sleep, their memory of the event will be better. The issue that you've got is that an eyewitness isn't expecting to witness a crime, right? So if, let's say there's a car crash in front of me, I'm not keeping an eye out for every single detail. So when I remember the crime or whatever I've seen happen, the accident, whatever it is, I would remember 10% of it. And so when you go to sleep, what your brain tries to do is your brain's like, hang on a second, I can only remember 10% of this. Let me try and fill in the blanks for the other 90%. So your brain's working hard to try and form calculations and work out what happened in the other 90% of that memory. That's not good. Because what a policeman would rather have is they would rather have an accurate 10% than 100%, but where you've started making up loads of details. So basically, that's probably not interesting to most people, but yeah, sleep consolidates memory, but it negatively affects eyewitness testimony. So you do not want to let someone sleep before they give a statement or give their testimony of what they've seen. That was the general consensus.
Very cool.
Yeah. You've lost me. Sorry. I'll shut up.
I thought that was interesting.
It was probably a little bit too nerdy.
Well, I'm nerdy as well,
Yeah.
so.
So your advice is work less and sleep more. And genuinely, yeah, sleep's so important. Oh my God, Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker. Should we talk about my favorite book again? If you do want a book, if you're interested in sleep, there is a book called Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker. I've read it 3 times. It's my favorite book of all time. I learnt this in A-level psychology, Raptor. I would suggest that you learnt some of that, but not all of it, because when I did the study during my bachelor's, there was very little info on that. At that level, anyway. There might have been theories, but yeah.
They might have like put it into the curriculum more now.
Maybe, yeah.
It has been a while since you did A-levels, to be fair.
Eat, sleep, egg, repeat. Anyway, so yeah, so then for my master's degree, I went and did sports psychology. And for my master's degree, I was looking at the role of pressure. I was looking at the psychophysiological, which is heart rate, and attentional, which is eye tracking mechanisms of penalty taken under pressure. So basically, we got people to take penalties. We measured their heart rate. We measured where they were looking. And then we also gave them questionnaires around personality elements. And we looked at who was more likely to miss penalties under pressure. So obviously, as you would imagine, the higher your heart rate, the more likely you are to miss a pen. The more you look at the goalkeeper as opposed to the goal or the ball, the more likely you are to miss a pen. The more punishment sensitive you are, so the more sensitive you are to punishment, i.e. you respond quite negatively to the idea of being punished, the more likely you are to miss a pen. So there was loads of interesting details, but we were trying to work out if we could identify players that are more likely to score or miss penalties, which I think could be really useful. Were the players professional or layman? They were neither. They were kind of competitive, but not professional or elite. So yeah, that's a great point actually, Jen, that if you were to get elite athletes, there would probably be a slight difference. Was there a difference between younger and older players? No, age had no effect, interestingly. Although it was only like 18 to about 35, 40. So I guess that is the main range of players. But yeah. And then right now I'm working with a few Premier League teams and we're using virtual reality to help with their rehabilitation. So let's say a player injures their ACL. Before they go back out on the pitch, we use virtual reality to kind of keep them cognitively sharp. There we go. That's my history to date of Harry Panero, Nico Jackson Stan account. HP, I cannot believe you've transferred in Nico Jackson. I'm not gonna say anything because you're better at FPL than I am this season, but I think Sharky did it as well, didn't he?
Don't sleep on my boy Nicholas Jackson. Watch. The dream told me, will I? Nicholas Jackson. Come on.
Oh, Harry, I was not expecting that. That scared the crap out of me. Does intercourse help with memory? Not that I've read up, but potentially. Potentially, who knows? Ross outing himself as posh. When did I out myself as posh? No risk, no reward. This is true. This is true. These men are mad. Honestly, the voice notes that comes from that chat, it's crazy. It's normally Stormzy just abusing everyone, but he's been a bit quiet recently. It's probably because he's bottom of the league. Hey. The lineups are out. Oh yeah, they are, aren't they? Because they're out a little bit earlier this year. Let me grab. Let me. No arse. That sounds like a swore. No. Let me bring you over there. Right, here we go.
Trossard's in?
Yeah, he was so good when he came off. I'm not surprised. Yeah. Came on, I mean. Oh, it's just that's the only change then.
Nice.
There you go. So that's the Arsenal lineup as we expected. Trossard the only change coming in. Sterling wouldn't have been registered in time. Salah on the bench. Interesting. That was so funny. When I saw him pre-season that Salah scored for Arsenal, I was like, is that a Saka typo? They've actually got a player called Salah. That's a funny tweet. Let me go for it. People are going to get really scared, though, when they see this tweet thinking that Salah is actually benched, but it's just a joke. It's too funny to not tweet, I'm sorry. Saka, Trossard, Havertz, Ødegaard. That's such a strong team, isn't it? I really think they could do it this year. I hope they don't, because I don't like Arsenal. Sorry, Arsenal fans, but I really think they could do it this year. Oh, yeah, sorry, Brighton's team. I just completely ignored that another team actually existed in that game. Brighton. Yeah, Verbruggen straight back in. Okay, so why that is interesting is recently Hertzler has said that he does not intend on rotating the keepers and that, apologies, he'll have one very clear first choice goalkeeper. The fact that Verbruggen has come straight back in, that's a statement of Verbruggen's my first choice, I think. So yeah, Hinshelwood starts again at left back, you'd imagine.
Oh, Dinker's benched. I just realised.
Yeah, Dinker's not starting. He's been benched every time, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're starting Minte and Matoma instead.
Oh.
I think Hinshelwood being starting is good for Saka captainers and Saka owners in general. We had a lot of joy on Hinshelwood's side, and Man United aren't very good.
Rutta's in the squad, so that's interesting.
Imagine your name is Salah. You'll always be thought about as Wish Salah. I know. I don't like you. Why not, Frosty? Why don't you like me? What have I said now? Barco in the 11. Can you imagine? Yeah, Barco is in Spain right now, loving life. Estepinian back on the bench. Yep. Put £50 on Welbeck scoring. Maybe. Never know. Are people getting really upset about my tweet?
Yeah, I bet they are.
You scared me. You gave me a heart attack. Stop. Then I've got people abusing me for for owning Salah. Me thinking that it's actually Salah's benched. Oh, I feel like I should explain. This is Arsenal's Salah, not Mohamed Salah. I feel bad. I'm sorry. There you go. I felt really bad immediately that people are going to see that and be like, no, my weekend's ruined. That's an impression of you guys watching, by the way, if you're wondering who that was an impression of.
Just how you act.
That's not how I act. How was life in Amsterdam? Yeah, I actually really enjoyed Amsterdam for sure. It was a really nice place, actually. I didn't live like in... When I say I didn't live, it was only about a 45-minute walk from like the centre of Amsterdam, but I lived a little bit south, and it was really nice because it was quite quiet. Quite quiet. Real voice reveal. You want me to give you my real voice? Hello. This is my voice. Can you imagine if that was my voice? Would you still listen to me, chat? Would you still love me? Excuse me? Would you still love me if that was my voice? Ross, is it true you're 5'5"? No, that's a false statement. I'm actually 5'4". Why does everyone think I'm short? Do I give you a short vibe? That's not. Is it because my chair's really tall? I'm going to assume it's because of the chair and not because of me. I'm massive, mate. I'm like 6'5". What's she laughing for? Serious? You wouldn't watch me if my voice was like that. That's just sad. Yeah, 100% short vibes. What's wrong with being short? My mum is 5 foot, to be fair. Pickle's 5'1".
Yeah, but we're women.
Yeah. It looks like your feet don't touch the floor. Why aren't you spinning the wheel anymore? My internet has improved slightly recently, but my computer processing hasn't. So the wheel being spun really hurts my computer. I'm not 5'8". Not that there's anything wrong with being short, but I'm 5'10". That's actually truthful. We know you're tiny. I love how you lowered Harry's chair so much in FPL therapy to try and hide it. The Wahill. It's been a while since the Wahill has been... Does pickle use pickle? I don't know what that means. I've got a pickle here.
I can see.
Are you ready?
If that's what you mean.
Just keep watching. Oh. 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 Oh, there he is. There's the pickle. There's the little pickle. Pretty girthy boy. There he is. Happy. Do you use a laptop or a PC? PC. Spin it, then call it quits. Looks a bit dodgy, mate. Have you seen those videos on TikTok of the guy that does like the Kermit the Frog? He does like Kermit on Omegle. Or I don't think Omegle exists anymore, but those things, and his little thing comes up. Is that what he said? Oh yeah, it reminds me of the Kermit the Frog video. I love it. He just goes... It's because people get so excited that they're speaking to Kermit, and then he just whips out his like... Courgette. You do give off short vibes. Sorry, don't know why. Sophie. Outrageous. Don't be short king vibes. I don't know what.
I will admit you did give off short vibes to me when I didn't know you.
Why?
I don't know.
Getting your pickle out in public. Technically, I'm not in public. Technically, I'm in my own home. So, suck on that. Not suck on it. No, sorry. Whoa, whoa. So, whoa. When I say suck on that, I don't mean suck on that. I mean suck on that as in, do you know what? I'm just going to stop.
Yeah, put the pickle away.
Put the pickle away. That was hella sus, wasn't it? Jesus. That's an easy Photoshop. Oh, it is as well because it's green. No, 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 no. Naughty. No. Freudian slip. I saw you on TV and you're defo 5'7". Do you know what? Yeah, fine, whatever. You're digging the hole deeper. That's what she said. Is Pickle blonde or brunette? Pickle is very brunette, like dark brown hair.
Yeah.
She's featured on the stream before. If you were watching...
No, don't direct them to the stream.
I won't say which one, but a stream towards the end of last year, she was on the stream for like 10 minutes with her face out and everything, so... Too late, screenshot taken and about to Photoshop.
Well, that's going to end up on Twitter at some point.
Ross, you're the chillest FPL YouTuber. I try my best. Pickle is majestic. Thank you, Jen.
Oh, thank you. What compliment.
Yeah. I saw Pickle yesterday at Asda, and that wouldn't be correct because she wasn't at Asda. She's thinking, was I Asda? Yeah.
Go to Asda sometimes.
Is she Asian? No, she's Caucasian. White. Because raptors are short. If you were FPL giraffe, we'd think you were tall. Okay, one sec, rebranding. FPL Peter Crouch. Mrs. Pickle is taller than you. Mrs. Pickle is 5'1", so I'd worry if she was taller than me. Wait, I can cover your face and show a picture.
No.
Why?
Of what?
To show that I'm taller than you. This... Wait, where... What? What's a good one? I know which one. But I don't know when it was. Got too many photos on my phone.
Oh, that's very sweet, Zodiac. Thank you. I was very nervous. I'm not very comfortable with online stuff, to be honest.
What did he say?
Just that I did well. I appreciate that.
If I cover your face.
No, I literally hate that photo.
But it's one where we're stood up. You're like this with every photo.
Take your word for it.
They don't take my word for it.
And if they ever see us...
Do you like this chat? I dressed up for a disco-themed murder mystery thing. Don't know what I'm showing you that. I just found it. I thought it was funny. There's me with a wig. I might still have that wig, actually, to be fair.
I forgot about that. That was weird.
God, I've got some fantastic stuff on here I could show you. Channel, not that you're ever going to see it, because, you know, not for your eyes, but it's funny stuff. If you want something that doesn't need to be photoshopped, here we go.
Oh. What are you showing?
Or, I'm going to get demonetized. I need to be careful here. When did you start to recede? I would say age 2. Proving that you're taller than a 5'1" person doesn't scream tall to me, Ross. Do you know what? You're right.
That's true.
Cancelled. WTF is that? That's in... Now that's some... Yeah. That's in the Sex Museum in Amsterdam. Absolute filth. What museum is blood going to? Have you never seen in Amsterdam? Okay. Demonetized. Recede. Ross has been bored since birth.
Photo of me with that thing.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's a good picture. When is your pickle revealed? I just showed you my pickle. I can show you a bit of it again. There it is. That was a huge pickle. Yeah, it was, wasn't it? Looking desperately for that one photo where she's in slippers and he's in thick-soled boots. Oh, I wouldn't change you for the world, chat. I hate you all, honestly. You do my nutting, but I love you still. The most freakiest creator from London. I'm not from London. I'm from Essex. If you could have hair, would you? Previously, yeah, but now I think it would look so silly if I had like a full thatch of hair. I'm quite happy with my head of hair. I mean... You're roasting me. It's our anniversary and you're roasting me.
Yeah, that's a tradition. Gotta keep it going, you know?
Bro, I came here for FPL. I'm 13. I had a 12-year-old come up to me the other day and say they watched my content and ask for a picture. And I was like, I did not realize that people under the age of 16 watch these streams. Maybe I should rethink what I'm doing here. Listen, if you're under 16, you're watching my streams, ask for your parents' permission. No, they're normally quite PG. Eggman without the egg wouldn't be the same person. Exactly. You would look fun with gustos. Nah, the bald suits you, bro. Don't worry. Thank you. I just want to slap the egg. You're not the only person. When I went to Fantasy Football Fest, about 3 people asked if they could slap my egg. What are you laughing at now?
Sorry, it was a really inappropriate comment, but it made me laugh.
Oh, is it from Benod? Yeah, I'm not reading that out in the middle of a stream. Roast is a sign of love. Yeah, I think it is with her, honestly. What a pickle you'll be in once people get done with photoshopping. I'm not looking at any of that stuff.
There's going to be some funny things.
Been watching you since 16, just done A-levels now. I hope your A-levels went well.
Aww.
Charity egg slapping.
Oh my god, yeah.
What, just to get like a stall set up in public where people can just come and...
sponge and just...
You look far too excited about the idea of slapping my old head. How's Waitrose treating you these days? Listen, I've still not shopped in Waitrose. I'm a Sainsbury's kind of man. It's just still kind of bouge.
Did you take me to an M&S for a Waitrose?
M&S? No, no, it was a Waitrose, wasn't it?
Was it? Yeah, you took me to a Waitrose.
No, wait, whoa. Contextualize. We were at home where I live in Essex, and we walked past a Waitrose. We wasn't going to it. And she was like, I've never been to a Waitrose. And I was like, well, we can walk in then. I didn't take... You make it sound like I was like, oh, I love Waitrose. Let me take you to a Waitrose.
It's so weird. So is M&S. I get it, but it's like you can't find anything normal in there.
Giving off big Waitrose energy. So what you guys are telling me is I sound like I'm 5 foot and go to Waitrose. This is not the impression that I've been trying to give to you guys. I'm 6'5" and I shop at Sainsbury's.
Sainsbury's as well. Ooh.
Sainsbury's slaps. Tesco's is the best, I think.
Sainsbury's stinks. I'm sorry. I just hate it as a shop.
Waitrose is great. Don't get riff-raff like Ross there. This is true, yeah. Pickle sounds a bit like a Tory.
What? I'm literally saying I hate Sainsbury's.
No, I think it's how well-spoken you are.
Oh, thanks.
Everything okay, Ross? You take dates to Waitrose. Listen, it's clearly worked. Don't diss it. Ross, I'm 5'5" and I shop at Waitrose. Embrace it. Okay, Alex. I'll embrace it with you. Little bakery, I know. Change your goalkeeper. It's too late. The deadline's gone, so I'm not changing him. Thanks, mate. Just had to call the ambulance as my gran passed out when she saw that picture of you in the statue. My camera's frozen. I started reading that and I was like, oh no, like what do I say to this message? And I realized it was just well, I hope it is. Hopefully your gran didn't actually pass out. Do you know what? I'm starving hungry and my camera's just died, so maybe this is it. Chat. We can go for 2.5 hours. I love you all very much. I'm going to go muller some food and have a lovely anniversary with Pickle. Thank you so much for being here as always. I appreciate you more than you know. There is an international break. There will still be an episode of FPL Therapy. There will still be at least one FPL video, and then we'll be back for the approach to Game Week 4. So thank you very much. I love you all, and I will catch you soon. Bye, guys.